Not everyone's a grandmaster. But that doesn't mean these stars aren't some of the greatest creators and people in chess.
Oh,
The poor eval bar.
that was one of the most exhilarating games I've been a part of.
Presenting the best of the best
The rook!
that aren't the best.
Oh, Danny.
The I'm Not a GM Speed Chess Championship 2022.
Oh
King.
no.
We've seen the first Botez gambit. What a way to start off.
Evan would not be proud, Alex.
Watch your favorite creators scramble.
And now Levy's up. It's me! It's me! Rook F1's me! Oh my goodness!
Blunder.
Oh, Queen F7 mate! Queen F7 mate!
And play some brilliancies.
Wait, it's stalemate! What a find! What a find by Lars! That was amazing!
Watch live on chess.com/TV.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the I Am Not a GM Speed Chess Championship. I am your host, Grandmaster Daniel Naroditsky. And to start a piece of bad news, we were looking for a co-host for a while, couldn't find one, so it'll be just me today. Wait a second, we did? Oh my goodness. Oh, look what the wind blew, and we have a co-host, and it is none other than International Master Levy Rozman. Of course, I'm just kidding. Levy was always supposed to be the co-host. Levy, welcome to the show. It is an honor, and I think I speak for everybody in the chat. It is an honor to have you in the studio. Welcome to the show.
It's an honor to be here. I can't possibly replace Robert Hess or Amon Hamilton or any of the other great co-hosts that have done commentary on the show. I really like how in the intro, they said some of the best creators and people, because Tanya, we're not people. Let's move gremlins. Yeah, I'm super excited. It's a little bit weird to be doing commentary on a match or really in an event where like 95% of the players are better than you. But I'm going to do my best, you know. So hopefully you can offset me with the average.
You had a very strong showing in the first in your first match, so I think you're qualified to be here. But let's take a look at the overall bracket. Levy, you defeated Nemo in pretty resounding fashion. A lot of really interesting, juicy names here. Today, we have Alina Kashlinskaya facing off against Carissa. What other matches catch your eye?
I'm very curious to see how some of the I guess the two top seeds, Bibisara and Polina, how they do, because obviously they're super, super strong over the board. I mean, Bibisara's gold and silver medalist. When I saw that, I basically wanted to like drop out of the event. And I know Polina's going to be GM like quite soon. They basically invited like every powerhouse women chess player with like 2 GM norms, like 2490 FIDE. I think Alina also has like 2 GM norms. So yeah, I mean, I'm very curious to see how the top seeds do when they switch to online format. But hey, like we've had some pretty crazy results, like Canty going 5-0 in the 5-1 versus Kostya, and then Lawrence, I mean, showing up and showing out versus Greg. That was unbelievable. So yeah, I'm just curious to see what happens. And we've got the Rose and Rozman maybe thing happening, unless Tanya pulls the upset there. So very fun event this year.
Oh, I love the I Am Not a GM. But today we have Alina Kashlinskaya facing off against Carissa Yip. So let's focus on today's matchup. Two incredibly strong women chess players, as you alluded to. Alina is very experienced in the I Am Not a GM. She was a finalist last year. She's an incredibly strong, well-rounded Blitz player. But obviously, Carissa, one of the most talented players in the United States right now. She's very, very experienced. And let's delve into the insights. Experience level pretty high. Levy, any numbers here that you think we should emphasize going into the match?
I actually thought this was going to be the win probability. I didn't realize that we already have the stats that people like lose by certain. Wow. So, okay. So Carissa basically is winning every game. She just loses on time. So the 1 second, the 1 second bonus will be a huge bonus for her. What is actually going on with her? Is she like 40, 41%? I mean, I'm just
That's a pretty high number.
I thought I said something. I was like, oh man, I'm already off.
Well, you did, but we'll get to that later. You're off to a terrible start. I'm considering kicking you off the broadcast already.
Oh, listen, I get to eat the rest of my sandwich. I mean, yeah, that's a crazy percentage, 41%. But I know she was taking some gap year or something for college. I don't know how many GM norms she has, like 1 or 2. What's her FIDE now? I don't know where she's at, but she's probably like on pace to be GM. Danya, I don't know about you, but I feel like the last 2 years completely destroyed my perception of everyone's chess career. Like, I don't know where anybody is anymore. I don't know who's playing or not, you know?
No, that's exactly right. And I apply this. There's 2 things that fall into that category. The day of the week, because the day of the week used to mean something, the month, like the whole calendar is messed up in my head ever since COVID. And people's ratings, like online ratings and Bullet and Blitz and FIDE ratings have melded together into this one behemoth. And I am exactly the same, but I don't know what people's titles are. I don't know where they stand. I do know that obviously Carissa and Alina, they are both very close to the GM title. Alina, I think, has crossed 2,500 FIDE. So on that note, let's take a quick look at our Smarter Chess stats brought to you by chessgoals.com before we jump into the 5+1 portion. Their Blitz rating's pretty high. You can see that Alina is a little bit more experienced in the I Am Not a GM, but the Smarter Chess calls for a very close match.
Smarter Chess does call for, well, I guess I was looking at the probability. So she's 66%. Yeah, that's I guess it's fair. I guess she's quite experienced. She was a finalist in the first season. I don't remember. I think she was knocked out in the semis last year. Was it to Lars Oscar Haug? Is that, or maybe she beat him? I don't exactly recall. But that household for Alina is super powerful, as we know.
Is it? I've heard something about her husband. I mean, he's not very strong, right? Is he?
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's, didn't he just won, what did he just win? Polish championship, Wojtaszek. So, I mean, listen, that's a very, very powerful chess household. Lucy's on her way. She's about 1,000, but, we'll get there. I'll become GM, she'll become, 2480 FIDE. So, and again, like I said, I just checked Carissa's FIDE page. She hasn't played a FIDE rated tournament in a while. Actually since November. So I don't know. I thought she was like playing over the board, but I guess not.
Yeah. And again, it comes back to this concept of not knowing where anybody is or where anybody is playing, but we are ready to start the I Am Not a GM SCC. We will have 90. Oh no, I keep saying that. That's the JSCC. We'll have 75 minutes of 5+1 to start. And I'm very curious on the topic of Wojtaszek, what Alina's opening preparation is going to be like, because I don't doubt that they did some preparation together.
Yeah, I'm sure that, Polish Championship and I Am Not a GM are kind of equivalent competitions. The thing about this event, which I always found interesting, like I get bored playing the same openings all the time, even if I have some success. And I'm curious, like Alina's a D4 player. Okay, Carissa's going to be playing this G6 stuff. I know she likes to do this.
Oh, that's right.
Okay, so E4. And I don't remember either of their repertoires a whole lot, but I know Carissa mixes it up with black. Yeah, she'll go for this modern stuff. What are we going to get? Queen D2 after. You love this stuff, yeah? You like...
I play this, but I play this mostly because it's one of those things, like I don't like anything on the menu. I don't like the roasted chicken or the filet mignon. And so I end up sort of defaulting to this hippo type play. Exactly. Okay. It's not that I love this either. These clothes don't fit me too well either, but it's something. And Carissa is sort of winding her way into a hippo setup where generally black plays E6 and knight E7. Pretty solid. It's not easy to crack.
It's not easy to crack. I played this against Akshat Chandra in Las Vegas 2019, and I lost not 2019, maybe 2021, and I lost in about 15 moves with black. So it's definitely tough to crack in the right hands. In my hands, it was most certainly not tough to crack. Admittedly, I made the decision to play the hippo at the board. So
that's risky.
Yeah, it was a very bad call. Happens though, happens. How do you crack this? Like, what is the right game plan here for white?
Yeah, I mean, normally I like putting my pawn on C3 and maneuvering the knight over to G3. Logistically, that's a little bit tough now because Alina has put her bishop on C4. I suppose, well, never mind. Of course, H6 is an integral part of black's setup. But the drawback of this for Carissa is she's going to have a very hard time castling now. That may not be a problem, though, because it's the classic E5 met with D5, D5 met with E5, and you're kind of chilling.
Is King F8, King G8, King H7 a thing?
I think it is. Knight
That's-
f6 by Carissa.
Yeah, this is also a thing. White wants black wants white to jump forward, get it all closed up, and then and try to, I guess, expand further on down the line. I would loathe playing against the hippo because it's like one of these things that you know you need to do something in the position, but you can't decide just quite what you want to do. Oh,
And
there
there's
it is.
d5. And I'm experiencing sort of vicarious pain on Alina's behalf. And in the same vein, it takes a lot of time to figure out what you want to do. Now e5, and now it looks kind of like a Dream King's Indian. And again, I think the only problem for black is that castling is hard, but currently knight g4 is a threat. So Alina probably has to waste. And there it is, h3, knight h5. This
G5.
is right up Carissa's alley.
Yeah. Wow. Apparently f5 is super strong. I was going to say g5, knight f4. I'm pretty sure I've watched you beat like 300 people with g5, knight f4 and further checkmate. It's crazy that she's equalized almost immediately. Oh, ooh, gf5. And I like this for black.
Knight takes e5 is a threat. I think we might be talking about Alina having to equalize pretty soon, the way that this game is going.
Yeah, but you're okay. Knight f6 is it's a sobering reality for white that now you don't really know what to do. Yeah, that looks very natural, but yeah, it's crazy. Slowly the eval bar is preferring black's position. It's incredible.
That's one of the tilting things about trying to prepare for the hippo. The computer always gives 0.8. It's like it's not engaging with you. Whatever move 0.8. What if knight f3 0.8? And what if black castles 0.8? And it's like the 0.8 syndrome where you don't know which line to go into because everything's 0.8. You don't know what's practically better to play. And that's why these setups are so hard to crack, even with computer preparation. But I like knight h4.
Yeah, I was gonna say, can black just play queen d7 long castle? That's maybe I don't know. Short castle is also appealing. What is white's next move?
Yeah, short castle's simple, and I don't know. I guess Alina wants f4.
And then e4 and then g4. Is that her style?
Right.
Is that even that looks kind of okay actually?
Yeah, it does. So f4. First question for black. Well, black can't really take on d5, or can she? So let's say f4, knight takes d5. I would probably get a heart attack as I was taking that pawn.
Yeah. f4, e4, g4 does look kind of intelligent. Like if you played that against me, I would lose in 6 moves. that's giving myself credit. Okay, it looks like that's what the engine is saying. It's saying e4, g4, e4, queen c4. But God, this looks spooky for both sides.
Oh, I like g4 a lot. So let's say e4, g4. And then it's sort of, black is kind of stuck in mud on the king side a little bit, or maybe more than a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I see you play e4 here without thinking, but then you see g4 and you're like, uh-oh. And it can get out of hand real quick.
It's one of those moves, right, that when it's played, it always seems to be good no matter the circumstances. Black would really like her bishop to be on c8 here. Just this one tiny change would have prevented g4. And then you would have played e4 in a moment's, without even thinking.
What is the best move after g4, by the way?
Other than resigning?
Yeah, you could just resign and get it over with.
Right.
Although apparently after queen f2 is, oh man, I would not play queen f2, but she's better than I am at chess. So,
but now this opens up the possibility. I agree with you because knight fd5. Let's play it on the board. The classic reaction is knight d5 and bishop c4, but black will take with the bishop here. So I feel like the players are kind of trusting each other, and Carissa plays king h7, giving white an opportunity maybe to still play g4.
Oh, wow. I thought her idea was something with bishop e2 g4, but okay. I don't know much about their playing styles. I've never had to really play either of them in a match. So if Alina is more like, I suppose, classical chess education, g4 is like a last resort. You would rather kind of maneuver, get positional advantage, knight e2, d4, e6. But she might, but now g4 was still the best move, by the way, after rook g8.
Yeah, and I don't know too much about Alina's style. I can tell you that Carissa is sort of a hacker. She likes these very tricky positions. She likes time scrambles, and she sets vicious tactical traps. So this kind of maneuvering play, I think, is giving Carissa a chance to set up the kind of position she likes. So the rook on g8 aiming at the king, and the opportunity train has firmly passed on g4.
Yeah, and bishop b3 is just sort of a pass back move. I mean, that move does not have anything specific in mind, right? I mean, it's just sort of, yeah. And
now she's expanding.
Yeah, I was gonna say it even allows b5. I wasn't even thinking of playing on that side. I was gonna play something like to the king side. But yeah, I mean, this is This is what I like to say. Carissa's winning the battle on the board on all three sides. It's kind of bad. It's kind of bad.
But
Wow.
Alina's winning the battle on the clock. That's one thing that worries me in the early going.
Yes. And again, it's like 0.8 syndrome. Right now it's 0.56 syndrome for black. Everything is better, but no move is like winning. I mean, every move is like bishop c8. Okay, now something's going to happen. Yeah,
she took with that knight, because if you had taken with the other knight, then bishop f6 would have been very nasty due to the pin. So Kara was put into this move, but Alina with knight e3, and finally they're into the hand-to-hand combat stage.
Yeah, it's tough to play these positions with a minute, because now apparently it's just a sacrifice. It's only minus 0.85 if black sacks the rook and g8, which is you kind of don't want to. It's like game one. You know, if this is the bullet, knight e3, let's go. But it's game one. It's you kind of shaking it off. Do you experience that? Like, you're a very good player, but in round one of a tournament, you ever feel like, I gotta like settle in?
Yeah, you don't want to take undue risks, because you know you always have nightmares about starting like 0-3 and then digging yourself into a hole. And this is especially true in open tournaments when you're playing lower rated players in round one. Here, Carissa probably doesn't have that fear, you know, of like embarrassing yourself against the lower rated. But rook a5, yeah, I think there's definitely an aversion to risk in the first couple of games of a match. But rook a5 defends the knight from the side. The engine doesn't like that move. And it doesn't like it because after rook ed1, the pressure on the knight gets really, really powerful.
And now when you take back on g8, if you ever were to move, you're taking with not a rook. And I guess you're really throwing off like f5 loses a guard. Oh my God. This is doing the job though. It's doing the job. Everything is defended. It's not pretty, but it's, I mean, white is attacking, black is defending. So
the problem here, I guess, isn't the material. It's that after knight takes d5, eventually, wow, the engine just wants white to play like king h2 and make improving moves. Again, black is kind of stuck in mud here. And it's not clear what the plan is if white just makes, okay, slow improving maneuvering moves like king h2, you know, slowly, yes. Increase pressure.
I was doing my best Boris Gelfand, you know, you got to go a little bit deeper in the nose. No, well, okay, king h2, g1, g4, okay. That's like a mix of Yermo, and this is going to be, we could turn this into a full-blown impression stream, but
I think we just might.
But yeah, and here it goes. Now bishop d5. And now Alina not just has to outplay on the board, she has to make sure she doesn't fall into the trap of the clock. You can be up a minute. I do this all the time. This kept happening to me against Nemo too. Like, you're up 40 seconds, now you're up 20, 10, 5. Now it's 5 seconds each. So go, you know? But seems like she's won her pawn back. She's much better now.
Ooh, look at this line. Knight c6. There's shenanigans with knight takes d5 and knight f6. But knight d5, there's rook d5. So that's inadvisable, but it's a moot point because Carissa moved her bishop away,
dude,
giving Alina a chance to stabilize.
Would you ever play c3 there? I would never play c3. I would have played like c4. I mean, c3 is such a professional move. Like, it's knight c2, knight d4, maybe.
I would do it if I was doing an impression. Sometimes when I'm making these slow moves to convince myself they're good, I'll do the impression, right? Okay, slow chess, some move. And then immediately, I'll imagine that I'm Gelfand playing in Minsk 1987. Here comes the queen. And Carissa with 10 seconds levy. This is rook d6.
Oh, rook d. Oh my God, that's disgusting. Oh, that's game. That's lights out. She just played queen 8.
And then queen e7 at the end. Sorry.
Is there queen e7? Oh my God, knight g6. You're filthy, dude. That's disgusting.
But professional is the right word to describe the way Alina's playing. She's just, boa constricting this position.
Yep. I mean, rook. There's no counterplay. Like, what do you play?
Whoa, she blooded the rook.
What? She wasn't the rook in a move.
She didn't take it. Oh my God, what's happening? CD. What? Everything is getting sacrificed right now. Knight f5. Who's better now?
Yeah, there's no threats. Carissa could have played like d3. I thought
d3. Yeah, d3. Make a queen.
No, but she has 5 seconds.
She doesn't have that pawn anymore.
The knight. Dang it.
Oh my God. How many? A lot of pieces got captured, but none of the ones that I thought would get captured. And now the endgame is just winning for white.
Yeah, it's just, oh my goodness. What?
Or is it?
Oh my God.
Rook takes d4 and black has connected passers.
She missed rook c4. Rook c4 guarded the pawn.
Oh, rook c4 defended it. And now black's going to, still winning. Or is it rook h2?
She had rook b3. What is going on? No, she's losing the pawns with check.
Rook h6, and now it's 3 pawns down.
Oh no. The 3 pawns down. It's 2 pawns down then. 3 minus 1. There's a pawn on the board. Respect the e pawn. What?
It's okay. You're going to take e4. It's inevitable.
Oh gosh, that was a crazy. Is that really what our chess looks like, dude? Oh my goodness.
That was nuts. And it all started with Carissa, with Alina blundering the rook. I think Carissa just sort of got into defensive mode. She wasn't really looking for those moves. That happens.
Ooh, advanced French. You know, this is very popular now. I don't know like how much opening trends you're following, but like advanced French right now is super trendy. There's some crazy theory, some queen sack line. I don't even remember what it is. My friend played it in an over the board tournament recently. But yeah, apparently everybody's playing E5 against the French right now at the 2,500 level. And
then not taking on D4, right? And then leaving the spawn on D4 like a psycho.
Yeah, take me on C3, so I get like a She doesn't want to even take on C3 with a knight. What?
This is modern chess in a nutshell. Like this position, if you needed to create a pictogram of what modern chess looks like, it says white's a pawn down. The pawn structure is ruined. It's a French stream and it's 0.8 for white.
I was going to say,
I mean, that's what it is.
Well, oh yeah, bishop a3 actually does make sense. I didn't want to allow like knight f5, but you can always take it. There's some damaged pawns there. I mean,
yeah, this is hard. Black is again stuck in mud. I mean, it's not my fault that Alina played the French, you know, my condolences and everything.
Yeah, it's a tough opening, I gotta tell you. That's why I play b6 move too, you know, so I don't have to suffer. Well, c4 and white is +1 despite being a pawn down. Incredible.
I mean, black's just so passive. The bishop is terrible. And one of the things I like to look for in a position, not only the king's safety in the immediate future, but the king's safety in the long run. Does the king have anywhere to run? Is there a, you know, the king might be stuck in California, but is there a Hawaii to go to? Is there a beach in the near future? And there is no beach for the black king. You can't even get to h7 out there, but case in point, right?
Queen b3, queen a3? Wait, queen b3, queen a3? What? Where's the king going?
Nowhere. I mean, it's stuck. The center is about to open. This knight from d2 is going to get to d6 eventually. Ugh.
Like, I see a king like on a diagonal. I want to put my, okay, cd of course is good, and knight e4, knight d6. Oh my goodness, knight c4, knight d6.
But I like throwing in queen b3. I think this queen should participate. I guess if you play it now, maybe black has queen b6. Maybe there's queen b6 and queen a3 check to, I want to meet with queen b4.
I was going to say queen a5, queen b7, and the rook is trapped.
Yeah, I don't like rook hd. This just lets white run circles. Oh, why is it only plus 2.6? Oh,
you have knight de7 and then you run to the king side. Apparently you have queen a5 equalizing now.
Oh, because after knight d6 king f8, there's no discovery.
Yeah, queen a5 is crazy. That's why knight c4 was better to cover queen a5.
This is a classic problem. There's no double checks, right? People just assume, oh, this is winning, but anywhere you go with the knight, you lose your queen. Will Alina find queen a5? And she does. Big move, big move.
I would just go queen b2. Just take the L, queen b2, keep trying to apply pressure. It's really demoralizing if the black king gets to g8. Because then you don't know what you're supposed to do. Like on the one hand, you're still a pawn down. On the other hand, you've had an attack. So do you go g4, g5? Or do you just put the knight on d6, suck it up, and like slowly improve your position, right? Like
the latter.
Yeah. I mean, I would just put the queen on b2. You can't trade queens. No way. Yeah, it's very demoralizing here once you blunder queen a5.
Next 3-4 moves are critical. Like you said, Carissa just has to reorient herself toward a longer game where she tries to exploit the long-term initiative. She's not going to deliver mate in the next 5 moves. She just has to accept that reality.
I didn't even see that queen b3 was possible. I think queen b2 was so aesthetic because it guards e5. And I didn't even realize this was a move. But is there a big difference between where you move your queen? I don't think so.
I don't know. I liked queen b2 because the queen had more prospects. Well, I don't think the queen has too many prospects anywhere. I would like to go. I would have liked to stay on a3, but sadly that was impossible.
It's so crazy that black's king might just walk over. And well, the other problem is with g4, there's always knight f4, and suddenly you're not actually the one attacking.
Yeah. Beach sighted on g8. With a nice pina colada. I mean, the king will be safer than it ever was. And here's another queen trade offer. One that white has to decline again, maybe queen c2.
Is knight b7 is a free pawn?
Oh, yeah. That is a free. And actually, that endgame I would accept because the knight comes back to c5.
Well, you just accept not being down a pawn. Because right. I think if you take b4, if you take b4, why does the engine hate that move? Some queen f4?
Is it because of knight e5?
Oh, Lord, you're going to lose your entire... Oh, my gosh.
A kingdom and a horse, literally.
Yeah, that's probably a reference to some history or book and I don't know how to read. But yeah, 95 just removes the guard of the d6 knight. That's incredible. She lost her biggest asset. That was, oh my goodness.
The only asset that guaranteed long-term attack. Oh, she got played, and she blundered rook b1.
No, rook e4.
Oh,
What is the point of rook e4?
I guess because, well, the queen, first of all, can't go back to a5 because knight takes b7 is a fork. And if queen b6,
Rook b1,
I guess then you play rook b1.
Knight b4, though.
And then the queen just moves, and I guess the knight is in trouble.
Well, the point is the knight on d6 is surviving, and if it survives too long, black will be lost because it's too strong. It's worth a pawn. Also, white can still, whenever they want, play g4, g5. And at some point, white will play g4, and then g5 is a huge problem because gh, etc. So, and she finds it, by the way. Carissa did not need a second invitation.
And logistically, Levi, after rook b1, if we establish that knight b4 gets black in trouble because the knight is under fire. But if you don't go knight b4, the queen has nowhere to go. If you go back to c7, let's not talk about this. If you go back to a5, you blunder into a fork. And queen a7, rook b7, we certainly shouldn't talk about this position because the queen has nowhere to go.
Wow, yeah, knight b4 is the only move, huh? It's crazy.
But Carissa's thinking it's plus... Oh, no, it's not +7. It's +2.
But what else is there to think about except rook b1? I mean, okay, I mean, I shouldn't talk. During these games, your brain goes to some incredible places, I have to say. I guess the difficult thing is rook b1 is not hard. Knight b4, the next move is difficult. You don't know what you're going to play then.
And there's sort of a recoil effect, right? A lot of players, they see a move like knight b4, which intercepts an attack with tempo, and they stop calculating. You just got to look one move further. And you just got to realize any pin against the queen is bound to be extremely dangerous. So this is really bad news for Alina, who had that brief glimmer of hope after knight e5. Black was just winning.
I had another idea, which was knight b4, a3, but I think queen takes d6. Right? Like if you play a3 now, oh, well, now though she moved the other knight. Well, yeah, what about, is a3 that bad of a move? Am I missing a tactic? Okay, that's also...
A3 was interesting. But she plays queen d2.
And again, yeah, I mean, g4 looks... Well, I'm kind of worried the rook on d8. Okay, a3, what? This is not winning it.
Because of this, and now she plays it. And I guess black just gets 1,000 pawns. Oh, and f6? F6 dislodges the knight, and if the knight moves, you lose the bishop. And the bishop on e8
queen f4
does a roll.
Queen f4, king g8.
Queen f4, king g8. The king reaches the promised land.
But then bishop c4, that looks suspicious.
Yeah, I think it's a long-term attack, but black takes and goes bishop f7. I can make the moves real fast. Queen f4, king g8, bishop c4. You give up the knight, takes and bishop f7, and I think black is in business.
Yeah, bishop f7 is a sobering move that I would not see 4 moves in advance. Then I'd get there and go, why am I pawn down?
Right, and ba rook a5 is another piece of bad news for white.
But is there anything else besides queen f4? I mean, like, there might be... I don't want to lose the bishop. You can't lose the bishop here, right? You can't move your knight and lose the bishop. You have to save the bishop.
You need to save the bishop, and I find it incredible that the bishop on e8 has finally come to play at the critical moment. Because if white had knight g6, white would have been winning on the spot.
Yep. Wait, what? This is winning for white?
Apparently that was wrong. And it's because of rook e3 and queen e4 creating a battery.
That's unfindable.
Oh my God.
That's not, yeah.
Bishop c4 is so natural.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm glad. Wow. Rook e3, huh? That's crazy.
Rook e3 and queen e4.
And you're just saying bishop f7, huh? That's crazy. All of it's happening. It's very natural moves.
Bishop f7. It's one of those things like every piece is super active, but you just can't break through. This pawn on e6 is like a gate that looks like it's falling apart, but in reality is made of reinforced steel.
Wow.
That's it. White is in trouble.
B takes a5?
But then rook a5.
Why was that the wrong move? Did
Bishop f7?
Yeah. Wasn't black just better and now black is equal? What's happening? That's so weird.
No, I think it was always like minus 0.2. But now it's a little more than that. And white just needs to go rook e4 and accept a slightly worse position.
Okay, rook e1 is also natural. Dude, I don't know. I feel like this is kind of tricky for black. It's like you can't really move.
Yeah, but 10 seconds.
Yeah. Of course, 10 seconds is not easy. I mean, white
Rook
now, it's very natural now with 10 seconds to be like, I have to play king h2. Like,
Ooh.
I would not play that. You could not pay me money to play that move.
Now white's pinned. If the rook gets to c1, it's time to invite the priest.
Bishop h5 is that queen h4? No, queen h4 doesn't attack the rook.
Oh my god, I just saw this idea. If the bishop were on h5, there's some like action with queen f1 and rook d1, but it doesn't work logistically because the white rook can block. But 3 seconds, Levy, there's just no way you make it.
Yeah.
Invite the priest.
That's
Take
it. Take and bishop h5. Oh, not even bishop h5,
Maybe e5 and bishop c4, because you've got this outside passer. So all you need is to get into a pawn endgame.
Yeah, e5 is nice. Yep. Bishop h5 is something you kind of play like if you have 2 seconds, but if you have 20 seconds, yeah, that's it. That's lights out. Bishop c4. Wow, clean.
Right.
Rook f2, b5. You don't even take it.
Oh yeah, you rub it in fully and
there you go. Wow, convincing 2 wins for Alina.
Good stuff there in the last 15 moves of the game. Like once she played bishop f7, she never let go. That was impressive.
Yeah, we sort of called like most of that game. That was quite satisfying. Okay, is she gonna play another? I doubt she plays a6. Well, now we're not in a modern anymore. We're in a, depending on what white does here. King's Indian.
We're in a King's Indian-ish.
now we're in a King's Indian. Very odd move order by black. Like, why wouldn't black just play d4 knight f6?
Yeah, I have a friend with whom I have this inside joke. It's like some players, they allow the maximum amount of different openings to be played against them. Like Carissa first plays g6, allowing e4. Then she plays this, allowing
e4 anyway.
Right. And then she plays this, allowing e4. But eventually Alina goes into the Fianchetto variation, which is one of the most reputable, from my perspective as a King's Indian playing, one of the most annoying lines to face. Not trying to reveal any intel here.
Yeah, in a dream world, I played this setup as well as the Catalan with white, and I never lose another game. Unfortunately, that's a dream world. But I want to make my repertoire as toxic as possible. So I would just play g3, bishop g2 against everything.
Right.
Yeah, what's knight e4? What is this all about? I mean, I know knight c6. I know some a6
I've played this. And knight d5 here is the most annoying move, I think.
Oh, knight e3. I mean, if you don't know that ahead of time, you will not find that.
I think a lot of players are very tempted to go knight h4. It has the ring of a good move, but the problem is that black just takes and says, hey, I doubled your pawns. My business is done. And because the nature of the position is very closed, right? Development isn't that critical. You're fine going back and forth a little bit.
What is that move?
Yeah, this doesn't seem to be the most testing, because this bishop's very good.
When I see moves like that, I just assume I don't understand chess. I'm like, I mean, it really depends on who my opponent is. If you played bishop g5 against me, for example, I'd be like, wow, what a fascinating bishop move. If 2400 plays this against me, I'm like, what an idiotic bishop move. But Alina plays it, I'm like, oh, there must be some idea. I don't know it. She knows it.
You'll relate to this. There's a famous scene from a Soviet movie called The 12 Chairs, where it's about a con man in various situations. And in one scene, he pretends to be a grandmaster. Ostap Bender is his name, and he gives a simul. The guy barely knows the rules of chess, and of course, he blunders a queen on move 5 on one of the boards. And the famous phrase from that movie is, "It's time to resign. The grandmaster has sacrificed the queen." And then he steals a rook from one of the boards, and he gets chased out of the hall. That's how the scene ends. But this is what it reminds me of. Like bishop g5, if Kasparov plays it against you, you're basically tempted to resign. But if a 2000 plays it, you're like, yeah, okay, I'm doing pretty well here.
That's one of my grandparents' favorite movies. I think they've also quoted it. They used to make me watch Russian movies with them quite frequently. I don't remember this one, but
the most famous phrase is "Отдайте мою ладью," give me back my rook. That's when he steals the rook from one of the boards. Also, what's happening here? Just as a side note.
I do not know, man. This is good though, because Carissa's gotta go for it. I mean, 0-2, right? Like it's really nice to win one of the first 2 games. Because if it's 2-0 and like your game 3 is crazy, you do not want to start 3-0. Although Canty started 5-0 and it was still a close match. Excuse me. It was still a close match. I mean, but
yeah,
yeah, we don't want a Brazil situation on our hands, you know?
I remember that. Well, in the JSCC, we've had some 5-point comebacks in the bullet, but no, for sure. And I had a question to ask you. Obviously, you're no stranger to broadcasting in front of thousands of people, but it's been told to me, and I've experienced this myself, there is something about these types of matches, whether it's JSCC, in my case, the Bullet Chess Championship, where the level of anxiety is so much more than when I just do like a Twitch stream, or even when I play like Hikaru on stream. Did you feel that in your like I'm Not a GM career?
Yeah, man. I don't know if you've ever heard me talk, dude. Like I wanted to wear a heart monitor after my match with Eric Rosen because I swear my heart rate for the last half of that match was 130, like, which is borderline, you know, decently intense cardiovascular exercise. I get so nervous. I don't see the board normally. Sometimes I analyze games afterward and I'm like, why did I, like, what am I doing? I mean, it's just crazy. Like the 1 second time thing increment is also very wonky. It's tough to adjust to because you're just used to flagging people if you play more efficiently. And White is completely winning. Meanwhile, it kind of looks like it.
It looks like Carissa made less moves than Alina, like physically. It looks like Alina made 3 moves in a row. I mean, she has a pawn on d6 that hasn't been recaptured. This is so powerful because after takes, if you move the bishop, you lose the whole house. This is over.
This is it's just quite literally over. I mean, c5, bishop a3, something.
c5 looks amazing. Yeah, bishop e3 as well. And if you can get the queen to lose contact with the bishop, you can resign. And there's c5.
Actually, last year before my match with Rozman, I drank a glass of wine. I was even drinking it during the 5-1 to sort of like calm myself down.
Yeah, I remember against Min in the Bullet Chess Championship. You mentioned not seeing straight. I couldn't see straight. I literally was like, something's wrong with me. I can't see the board properly. And it's hard to explain. It's like that level of anxiety where you just can't calculate a single variation. We're mid to late 20s, slowly aging Jewish men, and Danya, our anxiety and all of our guilt, you know, it's ridiculous. Sometimes I wish I had like nothing in my brain, you know. Right. I could learn a thing or two from Twitch chat, but sadly, yeah, it's not. 91 is just such a savage dagger of a move, like knight d3, bishop d5. Oh Lord. Am I allowed to say this is a sexy move on the broadcast? I don't care because it is. That's a sick move.
Yes, it's quite something.
God. I mean, the threat of knight d3 coupled with bishop takes b7, coupled with queen b2, and the fact that white is a pawn on d6. That's why it's +8.
Yo, what happened? This is move 16. I feel like they've played like 30 moves. Like black is 50 moves, completely lost. What's going on?
No, but Carissa, I mean, everything was fine, right? We decided that this wasn't too ambitious. And then Carissa went into this incredibly strange bishop takes b2. You never want the King's Indian bishop to permanently leave the fianchetto like this and then close out the pathway back, right? You know what I'm saying? Like anytime your fianchettoed King's Indian bishop is, you know, over, you know, doing God knows what, you're in trouble.
Yeah, I can't even... I don't know what to say. This is one of the. It's honestly quite. It says a lot about Carissa's resilience to even like be sitting and thinking to play a move here. Like I would just sort of like get up and maybe go. Right. I don't know where I would go. Yeah, I would just go.
The bar.
And she just resigns. Wow, she actually just straight up resigns. It's 3-0.
Carissa has to be careful. She needs to step up her game here because you go down 5 or 6 to Alina and, you know, you've got a Phoenix Suns second half situation against the Mavs. And we know how that ended. Not in a comeback.
It's too soon, man. It's too soon. You know, I'm actually, it's actually, if I could play E4 down 3-0 in a match and somebody plays an opening against me that I want to play for a win, I feel like the Caro is actually something, because there are so many ways to get really interesting positions against the Caro to try to play for a win. Advanced variation, 2 knights. I mean, you name it. So
but this is not one of them.
No, I mean, of course, white is like fine, but it's just so solid. You know, it's just so solid. I mean, I feel like if you want to beat the Caro, you got to play 3e5 or I don't know. I don't know much else. You could play the narrow con.
Right, with queen f3. Thank you for calling it that and not the Goldman variation.
Is that you? I thought you played f4 on move 2.
No. The narrow con, as people refer to it, is knight c3, d5, and queen f3. I've played this hundreds of times.
Yeah.
And it's decent. It's a good blitz line. I think, officially it's called the Goldman variation. I don't know which Goldman it's named after. Like the same Goldman as Goldman Sachs, some Goldman.
Whatever. We'll replace it with a better Jewish name. Naroditsky variation. Did you know the best move against Queen f3 is e5? I learned
e5. Yep.
That's so stupid.
e5. Yeah, it's like some most random move ever. I don't like what Carissa's doing. She's trying to force it in this position, and I feel like after bishop h5, White's position is just fundamentally unsound here. I don't know.
Yeah, this feels like a 3+1 or a 1+1 attempt at a win. I would love it. The problem is it hasn't been going her way, and
but okay. I mean, Valbar thinks White has a slight advantage. Yeah, but okay.
That was a very good nepo, if that's what you were going for.
I mean, it's absurd. Yes, but okay.
The odds of him winning the candidates are like 6 out of 8. It doesn't make any sense.
According to who?
Like there was some website, like Rajabov is the lowest, then it's report, then it's Nepo. He's like below Hikaru, he's below Duda, or Duda and Nepo are very close. I was like, the defending challenger is the 5th likeliest person. I'm like, man, do they know something we don't? Like,
but where would you put him?
I've got to be top 3, right?
Top 3, because he's got that experience, right? With candidates, it's like once you taste victory, a lot of it is about confidence and nerves. So I tend to agree. I would put him in the top 3, but candidates is so unpredictable, Levy. Anybody can have a great tournament. Anybody can have a terrible tournament.
I also just feel like I love Ding Liren. I mean, I think he's exceptional, player, but at the same time, we haven't seen him play a classical tournament since the last candidates. Is that right?
Well, and then we saw him play 800 games in 2 days.
Yeah, against, folks that aren't necessarily playing in the candidates. So it's like, I don't know, are we like grossly overestimating? We're going to know who's going to win that tournament in the first 3 rounds. Also,
Levy, Alina is losing her mind here. Ever-loving mind. DC wins a piece.
Yeah, what did she miss?
Knight f4 was a really bad move because after queen e4, the knight is just trapped and there's no good defense to c5. Carissa, take.
You just take. But the problem is once things go wrong, you start seeing ghosts. So maybe she's.
Oh, bishop e5. Sorry.
Oh wow. Oh yeah. Oh, so yeah, she's not crazy. So why is it plus 2.7?
Because, and this is another one of those things that you can't stop here. After all of this happens, after all of the brouhaha, White plays bishop c3 and just skewers another pawn. White's already a pawn up. Another one falls. And it doesn't just fall. You play h6 and you do it that way. So,
interesting.
Anyhow, but I interrupted you.
No, I was going to say actually here, knight e5. Yeah, this whole sequence of moves, you don't want to play knight e5 because you're like, I'm giving my opponent something. But if you don't play knight e5, then they play knight d3, bishop b2. They play queen c5. So queen c5, there's bishop f4. So you got to go knight d3. No, I was just summarizing how I think it's crazy that there's many wild cards in this tournament. Like we don't know how Report is going to do. He just finished last in this tournament, but maybe he's just saving his prep, right? We don't know how Hikaru is going to do. Dude, that's such a toss-up. Like we have no idea.
Huge toss-up. I mean, it's and that's what makes it so exciting to me. It's literally the biggest of toss-ups of all the recent candidates.
Right, because he slaughtered the Grand Prix. I mean, just destroyed it. Like the Hikaru haters of Reddit chess didn't know what to do. They have to find someone else to hate. Like it was unreal. I mean, he just completely and I think a lot of it also came down to that first group game against Yasipenko that he held. He didn't lose in the group stage, so we don't know. And like I just said, we have no idea how Ding Liren is going to do. We really rook h4, b3,
rook h4. We have an idea how Carissa is going to do in this game.
She can't play b3, knight a3. Come on, rook h4. It's the only other move that attacks the knight.
H6 also. H6 wins the entire king side, by the way.
Yeah, this is what? Come on.
No, Carissa. And she has to win this game. You can't leave points like this on the table. It's still completely winning, Larry. H6, right? I mean, you just
rook h4 was just boop, boop, it just wins the knight.
okay, but how you not play this move? Yeah.
Oh, but there was b5. Maybe she didn't like b5. I don't know.
But now it's complicated. It's a little more. She should have played h6 there and taken to the h pawn. Now there's a little glimmer of hope for Alina. Knight comes back to b5, evacuate it. And my coach would always say, once you miss that first win, once you miss the easiest win, even if you're still completely winning, things start to take a tumble. Knight c7 is plus 1.5.
Oh, knight c7 is, dude, I can imagine losing some games to good players like in Title Tuesday here with white. I mean, this is f4, bishop e5, maybe.
I would lose this to an FM in Title Tuesday. I don't think I've ever beaten an FM in Title Tuesday.
Those FMs gain a couple of 100 points of strength in Title Tuesday, don't they?
Oh, they certainly do. And I seem to lose. I seem to lose 100 points of strength, and I'm the only one.
Man, b4, bishop e5. Okay, she's kind of doing like, she's playing how I would play, so I don't know if it's good or bad.
But still, rook d1 and the knight d5. And you have a risk of losing your queen side. Alina's defending this, by the way, incredibly.
Oh,
incredibly.
Yeah. Oh, no.
a5?
Don't even take on f6. Don't even entertain it, right?
No, because rook is coming to... But you know what's tilting about this for white has no prospect of creating a passer on the king side. So black can divert her attention to the queen side. I would play a5, try to go for the initiative, get control of the a file.
Yeah, this is, again, I think I've wanted to mention this. I don't know if I've actually verbalized it. This is one of those games, like you just said, if you miss the easy win, then even if you're better, it's really difficult. But it's also a game that you suddenly start thinking that you're going to lose. You know, I'm down 3-0, I'm down 2 minutes. I was better. I threw it away. Now I'm going to lose again.
And you're down to 30 seconds. White, this is a 3-result game. As strange as this sounds, this is now a 3-result game. White could be worse if the rook gets to a8 and then it infiltrates to a3. White could very well be worse here. King b5. Oh, you don't need to play that because b5, king takes c5.
Yeah.
I would say Alina probably has good winning chances here. Although that's a good move. King e4, king e5, maybe?
King e4, king e5, indeed.
But where is it going from there? And it could get checkmated.
f5, right? That's the move that white wants. Once white can get f5, everything's going to go crazy.
True. And also white threatens b5. It's semi-threat. It's just a nasty move. So maybe Alina should take the chance to play king b5.
Yeah, naturally you want to play rook a3 or something. But I don't... Rook a3... In most of these rook end games, probably white is winning because of the huge space advantage. So you really want to keep some pieces on, I guess.
Right. And the problem now for black is that there's no mating constructions because king e5 has a pathway to d6. So king e5, rook a2 is no longer checkmate. Now, maybe it still is good. Uh-oh. Rook d2. Oh, you keep attacking the bishop, and if it moves, you take the pawn. Levy, this is a draw now.
Yeah, it's absolutely, that's brutal. Why couldn't she go to d3? Am I crazy?
Oh my God, Carissa's going to lose rook d3.
Rook
she's
d3?
She's tilting. She's totally tilting this. Oh my God, yeah. It was winning in one move. Rook h4 or h6, and it was just resigns.
That's crazy. Yeah, this is rough. I mean,
how the mighty have fallen here. Oh, is the pawn in game winning? No, it's a draw. It's a draw.
Is there a way to lose this? I guess not. It's very, very easy. You take f7, b pawn promotes. Then, yeah.
Just don't pre-move if you're either side.
Okay, so Carissa's going to get on the board. We don't lose these unless you flag, which would be absolutely heartbreaking. Okay. Yeah, it's just a draw
HG. Nobody promotes a check, but okay.
So you think Alina's going to make the draw immediately, or she's going to get some time off the clock?
She's going to... Oh, maybe she will. Queen g5, and she'll trade queens. Oh, there we go. I was wrong. Okay.
Wow.
Why do they call me prophet?
She wanted to be traded on her terms.
That's right, and that is a highly disappointing result for Carissa.
Yeah, Carissa could have had she could have been on the... Well, she's on the board. She could have been on the board with a win. But it is what it is. Oh, this e6 g6 stuff is sussy, to put it mildly. I've tried to play this with black and it does not go well, but I don't believe this is the right way to do it with white. I think you're supposed to do it slightly differently.
Yeah, I agree with Sussy though. It kind of smells of, a salad that you discovered in your fridge and you don't even want to check the expiration date. It kind of smells wrong.
Wow. So it was a prepackaged salad from the grocery store. It wasn't even one you made.
me and made in reference to food is you don't want to use those two words in the same sentence.
Yeah. Me too. We know the struggle, you know. We just spend all of our time on the 64 squares, so we don't know how to make any food.
I spend a couple of hours a week on a DoorDash website, but go ahead.
Yes, I've actually. Are we sponsored by DoorDash?
I don't believe we are.
Because I've had some awful DoorDash experiences. Let me tell you. I'm more of a seamless Grubhub type. But
like in terms of finding you or not delivering food.
Everything, dude, and not refunding me, a delivery guy going to the wrong house. I mean, you name it, it's happened to me on DoorDash. Like, yes,
that's fair. I think DoorDash is good in Charlotte because everything is so square and laid out, and there's no traffic anywhere. So, you know, we're talking about two different universes. I feel like Manhattan is like, it's like London taxi drivers have to pass this special exam called the knowledge because of how convoluted the streets are. In Charlotte, it's all very simple.
Oh, is that the black cabbies in like the historic black taxis in London? They have to do that, or are you?
And they have to do that. They have to take one of the hardest exams in the world. And I'll tell you something else I read about this recently. Do you know the hippocampus, that like part of your brain that's responsible for like memory formation?
Yes, sure.
They did a very famous study, and they found that London taxi drivers have a larger, as they're studying for the knowledge, their hippocampus actually measurably grows.
Wow.
So that's how hard it is. And they have to know like thousands of routes. Anyway, sorry, that's off topic, but I just remembered that. And I read about that recently.
That's amazing because New York yellow cabs, as much as they hate Ubers for pushing them almost, you know, to the brink of extinction, don't know anywhere that they're going. They constantly ask you for exact directions. And actually, Lucy and I broke our streak of not taking a yellow cab sometime last year. And the guy thought we were tourists. So he accidentally took the wrong exit and then was like, oh, I took the wrong exit. And I was like, bro, stop playing. Like, I know where we're going. And so, yeah, our cabbies are not like those cabbies.
I had an Uber driver who was a huge fan of you, actually.
Did
San
really?
Diego. Yeah, I got into the Uber. He was in 1800, so he heard my name, but he was like, do you know, like, you probably don't know him. He's super famous. Do you know Levi Rozman? And I was like freaking out.
Wait, because he saw your name was Daniel and he recognized you?
No, he asked why I was there, and I was there. I don't remember how we started talking about chess. I'm usually pretty low key in like Ubers, but somehow we started talking about chess. And then he mentioned that he'd been watching this guy Gotham Chess for the last couple of months. And I was like, I don't know, that
taste.
Right. Terrible channel. Stop watching immediately.
That's so funny.
In the meantime, what's happening here?
Yes, it's a complex game. All I was going to say on that subject was I have changed all my names on those apps. So nobody knows it's me. And in New York, nobody really knows anybody. But it's actually funny. For a little bit, I named myself Miguel Naidorf on like Uber. And I got into a couple of cars with the name Miguel. And my driver was named, you know, something from from a Spanish speaking country. And they started speaking to me in Spanish. And I was like, so I changed it to Michael.
Michael Naidorf.
Yes, the Americanized version.
It's like Michael Tall or William Steinitz.
Yes, William Steinitz.
Yeah, he was totally born William.
So yeah, it's funny that happened because I don't have my name on any of that stuff. But in New York, it's a lot easier to just kind of go low key. Nobody knows anybody. Also, Black is up a pawn. When did that happen? How's Black a pawn up?
That happened a little bit earlier, but somehow White's developing very serious compensation. This is one of those moves that you just roll your eyes at, because if you play G5 automatically, you open up this massive diagonal, and this is completely out of the question.
Yeah, I guess you can just sort of relax. I was thinking C6 with the idea to trade on D1 and play Rook D8. But I think C6, Queen F6, and then I don't know.
Yeah, I strike first. Whoa.
Oh, apparently that's not a good move in this position, but Rook D1, Rook G8? Or...
No, there's a very obvious reason, Levy. I'm surprised you haven't seen it yet. It's Knight G3. And if Bishop D3, Rook D3, and then there's a fork on E2. Have you forgotten about the Rook on C1?
Knight G... Wow, that's incredible. What a move.
Unfindable.
Yeah, if she finds it, she's going to win the match. Like...
Entirely possible.
Wow, knight g3 is absurd.
It's wild.
It's not.
There's nothing else.
Wait, knight g3, rook d8, knight e2, and then what? You take back on d8 or something?
You take back on d8. Yeah, because c1 is hanging.
Brutal.
Can you believe that?
Also, knight g3 threatens queen f2 and knight e4, knight f6.
Oh, get that out of there. Yeah, queen f2, and
you can safeguard your position. Like if like knight g3, rook e1, you play like queen f2.
Unbelievable. You just uncork 2 of those moves in a row. Your opponent forfeits the match.
Yeah, that's the end. I mean, I really hope she finds it. She's been thinking a while, but rook takes d1 is so natural. Just get rid of the problem, and then another maybe natural move is rook e8, but bishop d3 is just those words, not rook e8. Yeah.
Yeah, you need to recognize basically that the threat is just massive. The threat is just massive of bishop. You need to do something, and she doesn't find it.
Yeah. Wait, what is the idea here? Rook g6? What is the idea?
What?
Isn't she just
but
losing?
Then bishop f5. No, but this is, come on, Carissa, knight e5 or knight
b4?
d4. Oh yeah, or b4.
Knight e5 is also killing this. Oh, knight e5, there's rook g5, but then f4?
Knight f7 or knight f7.
Knight f7.
Because so many threats. Queen h6 is even a threat.
Wow, that's brutal. If the score is flipped, you almost think you can find knight g3. You just have that momentum. You just have creativity flowing. No, I didn't. We didn't expect this. Now the winning probability of Alina is probably like 95% in the match.
And when you're down like this in the match, you start the negative self-talk, and it just, it's an overused phrase that something gets in your head, but it really does get in your head when you start losing again and again like this. And it's still, quote unquote, only a 4-point match. The good news for Carissa, there's 2 segments left. She needs to score that first win, though, Levy. I mean, she needs to convince herself that she can win.
Yeah, I'm really surprised she's playing knight d2. I don't exactly know her repertoire, but I basically thought that knight d2 was not played anymore because there's just no advantage. But okay, she likes what she got, so she's going back to it.
Which is reasonable. I thought that after h4, Alina missed the opportunity to play bishop h5.
Yeah. Bishop h5.
Right. Had to throw that in there. Instead, she plays c5, which maybe it's a little premature, no?
I mean, you could just go h5 here. I mean, Carissa's entire strategy and entire hope of winning this game lies on playing the move h5. So why don't you just play bishop h5 and then she can't have any fun? I don't know.
Yeah, I feel like Alina hasn't sensed in this position the importance of preventing it. And Carissa, you can see the confidence taking a hit here. I feel like at the start of the match, she would play it immediately. Now she took her time and played another decent move, but I thought h5 is kind of a no-brainer. I like this a lot less.
Yeah, but also nobody's playing anything to h5, which is kind of surprising. Why didn't
put a
Carissa
zebra there? Something.
Why didn't Carissa play h5 last move?
Yeah, I don't know. And now it's a little annoying.
Because yeah, B2 is a bit hanging. I saw a comment that said Alina doesn't look happy. She probably wanted more of a fight. No, Alina wants to win the match. Like I mean, maybe you don't necessarily want to play an entire match when you have a massive margin, but you want to win the match at the end of the day. And if she doesn't look happy, it's because no one's happy playing chess.
But Levy, what advice would?
Long castles.
Oh.
I thought I was being quite clear. I apologize. And Carissa's just much better again. She's getting some great positions with what she's playing.
Yeah, the only other way I've heard people refer to castles, 3 zeros.
Yeah,
that's the Russian way. But what would Boris Gelfand say in terms of how Carissa should come back from this match? In this match,
I was clearly better, 2 games ago, but she defended very well, and there's nothing I can really do. But okay, I mean, you have to play bishop f4. You have to play energetically, or else you're simply gonna lose every game. And okay, I show up today. I want to play my best, and sometimes I just simply cannot always play the best moves. But I watched an interview today on stream of him talking about young Indian player Arjuna Regaisia, and I played with him. And yeah, I mean, well, he's like the coach of like all of India now. So
that was amazing. People need to watch like an actual Gelfand interview. I think that might be your best impression.
I sometimes discover, like I get inspired and I do some pretty decent impressions. Bishop f4 d5 or what? Rook f4. What's the win? Bishop f4 d5 looks just crushing.
It's resigns. Bishop f4, and if bishop d6, you walk into takes, very simple takes, and then rook h4 to d4 with an unstoppable pin. And if king a8, as Levy pointed out, d5, and the bishop on e7 is the problem piece. But Carissa, she took on c5. And it's also good, but not nearly as good as bishop f4.
She found rook h4 2 games late.
Right.
she played it a little bit later. But I mean, she's got this very interesting strategy, very stockfish-like, very, very modern approach of pushing the pawns to g5, h5, not touching them, rotating the rook over, but she's just got to win a game, man. Like, she's just got to win a game. That's it. Like, I would hate to be in this position. It's my worst nightmare. I've always been able to win like one of the first 2 games, and it's just so relaxing after that. But man, I would hate to be in this spot.
And yeah, now she's falling into the exactly what happened in the last game, where she took like a minute and a half. She didn't find the first win, and then subsequently the wins get harder and harder and harder, and the time on the clock gets less and less and less.
Yeah, the problem is that she has a lot of good moves. Rook f4, bishop d4 apparently is good. I was thinking rook c4, but it's probably bad because you could take with check and then try to get kind of out of that spot.
Reminds me of a game between when I played Garry Kasparov and Lidaris in 1993.
Is that Ivanchuk?
Oh, that's Ivanchuk.
I think with Ivanchuk, you have to go a little bit higher voice. Okay. Oh, she actually played rook c4, which is just don't go queen b5. Don't go queen b5. Queen d5, rook c8. Very strong move. Oh, queen h2. Oh, she plays it. Oh my gosh.
Found the hard moves, and now rook d4.
Yeah, rook d4.
And then knight e5 if you need it.
Boom.
It's over.
There we go. Carissa's on the board. Let's go. It's a match now. Not really, but yeah.
Don't you jinx it.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Although I think Alina might resign here.
No, don't resign. Queen a2. Play a couple more moves. What resign? Nobody ever won the game by hitting the resign button.
But there is trap, the rook d7. Volobin takes. Kvd1. Wait, why is white still winning? Oh, because the queen is defended. But that's easy to miss.
Yeah, I mean, you got to go queen a2 here, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's, sometimes, you have to, try all of your, like I did against Korpov, all of your chances. But,
dude, every time you pull out the Kasparov, it's always Karpov. My man always getting the...
It's always... Yeah, and you know why?
Mm-hmm.
So
it's very easy to say.
The way that I practice impressions is I take one word in the accent of the person I'm trying to impersonate. I was going to say impersonate. And for Wesley, the phrase was in order to. And then I sort of say it again and again and again. And with Kasparov, it was the distinct way that he says Karpov. It's Korpov.
Yeah,
I believe Korpov. And that's how I kind of get into the groove. So that's where it comes from.
Yeah, that makes sense. It's one of his easiest ways to kind of get into that frame of mind. Alina's pondering why she herself has not tried to play Karpov, but what I love that Garry says is, that's like his little tick. And anytime he says in any interview, like whenever they invite him on some news channel, he's always like, well, it's a good question. Well, Queen C2 blitzed out.
Wow.
And it's good. Yeah.
And that's another technique.
Yeah, and
repeating and.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So
wait a second.
Right on the money. Queen B1, right? Just wins.
Queen A6. One more trap, because if you take on D7 prematurely, there will be a Queen F1 fork.
Queen D3
or Knight E5.
That was Queen D3. I was just queen trade. Wow, that poor coordination of the black position.
This knight killed her, and the obviously the back rank and the back rank weakness.
Queen D3 and obviously Queen A1, King C2. There's no Queen A4 check. Man, it's crazy how hesitant Carissa is right now, and that's what being down half to 4.5 will do to you. Like, you just play Queen D3, you don't even think about it.
Yeah, you can sense and I think she'll gain quite a bit of confidence with this win, which comes at a great time because there's 18 minutes left. If she can get 2 wins in a row, we're talking about one of those basketball things where one team dominates the other, one team shoots 60%, the other team shoots 20, and you're only down by like 2, right? So the match hasn't escaped her yet, but first she's got to finish this game off.
Yeah, and credit to Alina, she's taking as much time as possible. And if the next game goes relatively long, it will be the last game. Yeah, it probably will be the last game regardless, but maybe it ends with like 1 minute left or something.
Eats. Right. Another one.
There's really not a whole lot of moves left to be made. Everybody always wants to do Magnus, but you can't really. Magnus has such an obscure way of talking in a difficult to impersonate way. I'm not saying he speaks weird, but I can never land a Magnus impression.
Me neither. I don't know what it is. I practiced for like hours a couple of weeks ago, and it's like I got absolutely nowhere. It's like the phrase that I try to repeat for him is the Maurice interview. It's like, what do you want me to do? And but it like melds into Kasparov and Nepo, and then I'm like, I just give up.
Yeah, I guess it's a tough. It's just very tough accent to imitate.
Why is Carissa not taking the knight?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, just very hesitant. I guess she's calculating Queen A1, King C2, Queen A4. Oh, okay. Never mind. Then King B1, and next game. Come on, King B1. Just King B1. It's not just King. Thank you. Okay.
If she had 20 seconds less, she might have paid the price for this. You never want to get yourself into an unnecessary time scramble situation because anything can happen. That's the problem in time scrambles.
And I'll tell you, in this format, my hand like doesn't move. It just doesn't move. Like with 5 seconds left against Nemo, I was doing absurd things. I was literally moving the nearest piece to my mouse to the nearest square. I mean, it was like the most degenerate chess I've ever played because you just get so nervous. You know, Rook F7, Rook F7, Rook F7, Rook C3, Queen B7. Come on. It's just next.
And you literally forget how the pieces move.
I forget that anyway, but I mean, she's got 20 seconds. What is she doing?
Take anything. Queen E5, Knight E5, Rook F7. You literally cannot make a bad move here.
Oh,
back to E4.
Rook F7 hangs 2 rooks now. Yeah, that's a good move.
Oh my God, it does, doesn't it?
Rook F7 would have blundered both rooks. Yeah, Queen D5
Rook
and
C3. Mate.
Just mate. Take the queen and mate. What are we doing? Okay. She didn't even play that little sequence like the most perfect way because now there's Rook C8, but you know she's winning the queen. Fine. Okay, Carissa, get this win. 2 games down going into the 3-1. Let's go.
But this G6 stuff has worked terribly. So Alina has been just a sniper against these hippo setups.
Has she? The first game, I feel like I thought the first game she got a good position, but the thing is it's Blitz, so there's always chances like for Carissa, you know, like even in the last game, some Knight G3, some crazy thing. But okay, she goes back to hippo. She doesn't play E6 G6.
Yeah, I don't love this bishop on C4.
I guess Carissa respects her repertoire, and I guess she hasn't been when a player doesn't play a tournament for 7 months, maybe Carissa is done with the gap year and now she's back to college. So maybe she hasn't done a whole lot of prep. Alina, obviously being a professional player, like you don't want to play into prep, especially in this longer segment, but it hasn't worked well, as you said. But the hippo worked well in the first game. She got a decent position. So
yeah, I kind of forgot about that. And they're getting exactly the same position. Alina, it's one of those things where you start you're like, I'm not going to repeat the bad line in this game. And I'm sure you can relate to this. And then every move, you're like, okay, I'm going to find an improvement. Then you don't find anything. And eventually, before you know it, you're back in the same bad position you swore to yourself that you won't repeat. And here we go. Again, Knight H5.
You know what's funny? That never happens with me because I will force myself to deviate like in the first 5 moves. And sometimes it comes back to hurt. Like I very, very rarely will even get 5 or 6 moves into some. I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm just saying unfortunately it's my playing style. I really hate to repeat stuff, but like for example, in my match last year, 2 of my opponents last year, Greg Shahade, Eric Rosen. Eric only played 1 variation with white. He just played the same variation with white the entire match. For 3 hours, and Greg doesn't know any openings except the openings he plays. So, and Greg's a good player and he knows his openings probably at a GM level, but he doesn't play any of their openings. It was infuriating. So I had to take all the risk, and it sucks. Like because I don't know openings either. But I don't want to play into people's preparation. So I would not do this. I mean, if she's playing G6, maybe I would have tried a London. Maybe I would have tried just a more aggressive approach, like, F4 on move 3 or Queen D2 long castles. But Alina goes for these like A4 more positional modern style approaches, which is obviously totally fine. But they're. Well, did something funny happen? Did I say?
Yes. No, it wasn't. But guess what the eval is right now? Okay, not anymore. But it was 0.8.
Oh yeah.
I felt like white is worse.
I know, because it's like what do you do? I mean, Black's gonna play F5. This is what Black's entire purpose in life right now is to play the move F5. Black's gonna play F5.
It is.
Dude, she's
that's why she put her queen there. Mm-hmm.
She has an even bigger advantage than she had in the first game of the match.
This is
okay.
Nothing works here properly in white's position. Like none of the pieces are doing what they're supposed to be doing. But this is a big moment. What does Carissa decide?
She plays
played quickly, and she played it quickly. The confidence level is starting to grow.
Yeah, she doesn't even play E4. Was there anything wrong with E4? Or is Queen G6 such a good move?
I think the problem with E4 is that it defined the pawn structure a little bit too early. Now, Black actually does have the threat of going knight takes F4 and eliminating this very, very important bishop. If white eliminates the dark square bishop, all these dark squares are going to, bite white in the what.
By the way, we did moments ago get a raid from John Bartholomew, and John in the first ever edition and by far the strongest edition of this event won the entire thing against Alina Kashlinskaya, and I mean he wasn't invited back because they actually wanted people to have a chance.
Yeah, John is a monster.
They didn't invite Roberto Molina because they wanted people to have a chance as well. So, I guess, when you win it, you graduate, they don't invite you back.
Well, Roberto was too busy eating strawberry or raspberries, so they didn't invite him.
Was that a reference to something or
Molina?
Oh, geez, man. I was like,
I'm a genius.
Yeah, you are for folks that are confused. Molina means raspberry in Russian. It was a very important prerequisite to understanding that joke, but conveniently was not included in the starter package.
Nope.
Okay, G4 there was the only move not to be completely lost, by the way. So this G4 move seems to be the thematic idea of the structure for white a move ago.
And I guess it's lost now just because of the steamrolling pawns like E4, knight E5, and it's just a lot of people I think would have a hard time understanding why this is -5. Like, how would you explain it without really delving too deeply into the lines?
I guess Black just has a lot of activity, and what I like to say is like future prospects of Black's pieces are much better, right? I mean, I guess that's how I would try to describe it. But I think good players can use prospectless positions still very efficiently. Like for example, rook E3, rook G3. So it's there. White will play who knows, king H2 or something. There's some crazy ideas here with Black. Knight F6, H5, knight G4. Just shoving it all forward. But she has to win. She has to find that killer instinct.
And she went back, which I can understand that. I mean, she didn't want to allow rook G3. Knight F. Okay, but Alina can take this opportunity to try to go bishop B2 and chase this knight away, get the rook to G3. I guess Carissa wants to bring her other knight to F6.
Makes sense. Also, obviously, F4, bishop H6. Again, it's -2, but only if white plays D6, getting counterplay. Everything else is -3.5 or more. So, and
draw.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you might as well, right? D6 is so hard to play too because you activate Black's light squared bishop. Like, what are we even doing? Yeah, you're right. There it is, and she has to play D6 again. Otherwise, it's -4. Okay, there it is.
She does good stuff by Alina. I know one of those things. Like it's only a matter of time before Black crashes through. So you absolutely need counterplay, and you need it now.
Rook D8 is very cold-blooded. Just like now, you can't even move your pawn.
I love that move. It just sort of stops everything in its tracks. I guess it allows knight E5, but
yeah, apparently Queen E8 and white has to go back to C4. I mean, I'm not making this myself. I'm just trying to. Yeah, no, of course, Queen E8, knight C4, like repeat moves.
Now knight is trapped. Yeah.
Okay, I like that the clock is still even, but if you go yeah, right. Carissa's now playing a little bit with fire. She's allowing DC, and then if white consolidates, that pawn survives.
Is she allowing Washington as well? You were welcome to leave the comment. I mean, I wouldn't blame you.
No, I would. What was the joke there?
Oh, DC, like Washington, DC.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like no one understood that. Did anybody understand that in the chat? Am I the only one? I'm pretty sure I flew over my head.
Let me tell you why people understood. They're so used to my terrible puns that people in chat have just begrudgingly started speaking my language.
I don't know, man. I feel like that was that one was an L plus ratio. I feel like that was oh yeah. The chat saying they did. Chat saying they got it after the joke was explained. It's typical.
They got it, but it doesn't mean right. Exactly, but it doesn't mean. That was an L. I acknowledge it. Look,
okay.
Nobody likes a bad loser. I lost, and now I'm confessing and asking for forgiveness.
Absolutely forgiven. It's -5, by the way, so beautiful game. And I don't know, this might change a few things because Alina definitely needs to find an approach to the hippo during the break. She has to.
100%. And I wanted to ask you on that note. So what did you spend most of your breaks furiously looking at lines, or were you just like, I'm going to lay down for a little bit and eat a granola bar?
The last match, I can't say I did. But during Greg or Eric match, yes, I did. I remember there was actually one moment when I realized Eric was playing this obscure sideline with knight a3 in the exchange caro. I thought I was playing it right, and I remembered there being games like I played a certain way based on Fedoseev, who's a Caro-Kann expert. And I got a position. I went, how the hell did he win this? And I got a horrible position. And then during the break, I looked at how he won and I was like, okay, cool. And then I went and I played and I still didn't win the way he won, because I guess I'm not as good as Fedoseev.
Well, I hate that feeling when you don't do sufficient preparation. You make all the computer moves, then your opponent makes one move to deviate. And you're like, wait, this wasn't in the package. Like, why do I feel like I'm lost now? Yeah.
It's prep is so brutal because if you're just an engine Andy and you just go, oh, okay, 0.6 points, blah, 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 blah. You get to the board and you sit there and you go, well, what about that move? And that's actually how you're supposed to prepare. You're supposed to spend the next hour or two beyond the best moves, looking at it on your own and going, what if this? So that at the board, you don't freak out, because I've had that happen. I follow the engine line. I know my opponent made a bad move, but I can't prove it. Now I'm worse because I allowed something that I shouldn't have allowed. So it happens. By the way, it's getting spicy. There's tactics. It's still winning for Carissa, just to find the right approach.
Is it queen? I was thinking of queen g5 and e3, but it's not so easy, because if you play queen e5, Alina's idea is, of course, to play queen takes and bishop h5. Now, that's not all peaches and cherries, but that would at least get to an end game, which would still be a miracle. 20 seconds for Carissa.
Oh, no, Carissa.
I'm getting bad vibes from this.
Oh, Carissa just take on e5. Oh, boy. Oh, she's losing
Followed
e4.
my advice. But is there h4?
H4 bishop e5? Or h4...
But then hg.
Oh, yeah. And then, I think Carissa might not hold on. Oh, they both have 18 seconds. Okay. Welcome to the Russian roulette, baby. Here we go. It's going to be crazy. Wow, they're going to fire off moves here. Knight d7, only move. Now black is losing, 95.
That's it. And this is just a full piece up. And black is mating. Like, it's so easy to play. You just play f3 at some point.
It's never so easy. It's never so easy. Uh-oh.
Rook d4. Rook d4.
Yeah, okay. It is easy. Never mind. And knight f3 check, of course.
That was Carissa's best game of the match so far.
Yup.
That was a confidence booster right there. And guess what? It's down to 2. This is a huge game.
Yep.
Huge game.
Yep. Vienna. She loves that Vienna. Yep. Vienna Gambit. She played this against Greg. It's going to be a crazy theoretical. Oh, I love this stuff.
I will defer to the expert in the opening.
Right. Oh, yes. She's playing my line. Let's go. I mean, I didn't make the line, but this is the line I play because everything else is garbage.
The Rozman variation.
Oh, interesting that Alina doesn't play knight c6. Oh, she did. Wait, she's unfamiliar with the line.
This is not how black's supposed to play it.
No, you're supposed to play c5 earlier. If you delay it too long, you get a losing position almost.
And would it be accurate to say it's because white just gets the pieces out and checkmates you on the king side?
Yes, like knight e2, knight c6, castles, like black here has to be very careful. So if there's a couple of like if black plays c4, black is lost. If black plays like knight c6, queen d7, long castles, it's complicated, but white has good play. So yeah, it's always losing, always losing. Okay, so now very important moment. What is Carissa going to do? Castles, and then we're going to see which way Alina decides to take the game.
And one of the issues, if black castle's short, I guess, where do you want this knight to be? Do you want this knight to go out to f4? Are you going queen h5 to provoke g6? Like if black castle's here.
I usually start with bishop e3. Because knight f4, I guess. No, knight f4, I guess there is no cd4. Okay, so interesting. See, she's delaying, but now there's queen g3. And you suddenly can no longer castle short.
The thing is, I think Alina wants to go c4, and that doesn't trap the bishop, but it does force the queen trade. And I feel like black will, even the endgame, to be honest, doesn't look all that pleasant for black because the pawn on d5 is such a big weakness. But I feel like that would be progress for Alina.
Yes,
and Carissa allows it.
I've had c5, c4, bishop f5 endgame quite a bit. Black, I'm much more confident winning that in a 3-minute 0 bonus second game than I am in 5-1 because. Okay, and now a very good plan is bishop b5 to get rid of the knight on c6 and take c5 and play like knight d4 and just
that's such a cool idea. Let me show this.
Yeah, so you just like you can I mean maybe not exactly in this move order, but like you switch all your focus to that side of the board.
This is the skeleton, right? You get this monster knight on d4, and then you get the attack on the b4. And I think that this is so instructive for a lot of players because you have to voluntarily break your pawn chain, but you do it. You trade off the pawn chain for a monster square. Instead, knight f4.
Admittedly, recently when I reviewed this line, I had forgotten that the idea when black goes queen d7 long castles is to play like bishop b5, because normally when the king is castled short, it's very easy to create an attack. But yeah, I mean, if black doesn't know what they're doing against the Vienna Gambit, they can get very, very quickly like not great positions. And I mean, it's okay. She's just, I mean, h3.
Like, I think black has very, very quickly gotten a not great position.
Yeah, bishop e6. You can even like maybe take to freeze the structure. Wow, top engine move, bishop g6.
Oh my god.
You want my bishop, huh? So take it. So take my bishop.
What's stopping you? And then, of course, white ruins the pawn structure, gets this massive passive. But can you play? So if you play HG, black plays CD, and whichever pawn you take, black takes the other one.
Yeah.
And black gets a little bit of counterplay there, especially if the H file opens. That you don't want to allow for sure.
I gotta say, this plus 1.9 thing here, where it says to take on g4, take on h5, allow black to get the pawn to c2, and white just plays rook a c1, cleaning up the mess. Like I would never play this. So like, come on, rook a c1. Like I don't even know what you do after queen f5. I don't know what the engine wants. Queen h3.
Well, I guess even knight g6 here looks pretty good.
Yeah, knight g6. Okay, yeah. I mean, it's a mess. So she takes.
But I think this shows the potential of the Vienna, all these tactics, because you're so fundamentally sound, right?
She's
going for it.
Wow, she's going for it. You never take g7 here unless you like really, really enjoy roller coasters.
I do. Or have a death wish.
Yeah, and then you take g7. This is really the problem also, because the knight on c6 is completely out of the game in all of these lines. This wall of pawns in the center blocks it out. So
it's so restricted.
Wow, this could be a 1-game match. What a turnaround.
That would be unbelievable. I feel like it's crazy, these matches, because yeah, it was only a 4-point match. Carissa won 2 games, and now it feels like we're commentating something completely different from the first couple of games.
Oh my lord.
Carissa likes, maybe she needs a gift card to a Six Flags.
That's completely insane that she took. Wow. On knight g6, didn't you just say? Knight g6?
But then I guess queen takes h5, and black gets this attack down the h1. I'm sure it's lost, but as you said, Levy, these positions, anything can happen. Like it's so easy to blunder in a position like this.
Yeah, dude. Wow. Wow. Knight g6. Yeah. I mean,
there's queen f8 and rook h1 here. If we pull up the analysis board.
Yeah. I see that. That's. Oh, I don't know. I guess. Oh, we were analyzing on a slightly different. I mean, the thing is, you have to play knight g6, but you're not convinced it's winning. And
your head tells it, but your heart hesitates. And there it is.
Yes, courageous, bravery. Let's go. She's like, I don't think there's mate. I'm calling your bluff. It's so hard to play that because your black comes down to h1, and the pawn on c2 is just there, pretending to be a white pawn.
Right. It's like capture the flag, pretending to be on the other two. Ooh, but Alina.
Whoa.
So she's putting her eggs in the c2 pawn basket. She wants to play queen e3 and bishop a3 and promote.
You have to take. You have no choice. You have to take the rook. Otherwise, you lose material.
But what do you do after? I guess the point is that after king h1, bishop a3, it's just knight takes f7. You have overwhelming threats against black's king with some knight d6 ideas.
Carissa has to continue to be brave because of, yeah. And now I would just play king h1. Apparently king h2 was better. I don't understand why. King h1 seems...
Really?
I love how white can just go h6, h7 at some point.
Yeah, promoting in the middle game. That's a concept people forget exists. Like, you can still promote pawns even if it's not an endgame, such as now.
Oh, wait, I was confused what queen e2 did, but now I see you want to take h5. Okay, queen f7, rook h8.
Oh, and wait a minute. If white plays h6, black's going to give a check and then play bishop g5 and threaten bishop e3 check.
Well, Carissa's playing a perfect game. I mean,
Amazing move.
She's just cold-blooded. King is safe on g1. And if she could trade queens, she's winning. Even knight d6 check at some point to take and play rook f8. Like, but of course you have to be careful of queen d1.
Right. But I love this move because it covers the g5 square. Now bishop g5 is not a problem, which means white has absolutely nothing to worry about. Knight d6 here looks great.
No, knight d6, and once you get the pawn to d7, black can also not move off the 8th rank. I would just go knight d6 here and just hope for the best. White can also play just rook c1 at some point. Okay, I wouldn't have done that, but queen h3 is the idea.
Yeah, that's a little bit timid. I mean, rook f8, queen h3. Black has some concepts of sacking and going bishop a3. None of it works because white is up so much material, but it's something. So rook f8, right? Queen h3. You trade, and black goes bishop a3. How do you win that? That's Monka S.
Yeah, that's okay. She plays it
immediately.
Still not too late to go knight d6, by the way.
No, I think you absolutely should. You need to get rid of this bishop. This is the only vehicle that can promote the pawn. Without the bishop, black just can't do anything. That pawn is futile.
Yeah, I would just go knight d6. I don't like that Carissa only has 50 seconds. I'm not exactly sure what she's so hesitant about. Like, what are you worried about with knight d6? Black cannot move the knight. Like, are you worried about rook h8? Queen h3?
Right, at the least. And she plays it immediately. No, but She forgot there was no knight d6. Like, she forgot c1 takes knight d6. She forgot there's no. But oh my God, Levy, rook f8. Oh, then e6. Wait, why is it zeros? Oh,
rook f8, king e2.
D7.
King d7 here by black?
Well, because the point is that white can. White is stuck guarding c1, and the knight is stranded, and white's only up 2 pawns. Oh no, 1 pawn.
There's no way Alina plays. Come on, that's such a tough move.
King d7, just ignoring, dropping everything in a position.
Wow! I would never ever play that move. So I mean, I don't know about you. If you would,
I wouldn't either.
Presence of mind to just move the king. And
I feel like Carissa might lose this now. She's got 20 seconds. You're stuck in mud completely with white.
No, okay, I don't know. I don't know about losing, but wait, rook f8?
Rook
f1? She's losing a piece?
Yeah, but she's winning back on b7, so she's going to have 3 pawns for it. So it's a 3-result game.
Completely. Bishop a3, the knight is trapped.
This is nuts. And then you might still have to go knight c5 at some point.
Then white should play king d3, c4. Maybe.
So key.
Wow.
But bishop a3 is pretty critical, because if white gets the knight back, I would probably take white with this pawn phalanx and then the outside passer. This is hard to defend in time pressure.
Yeah, if white gets... But yeah, and she plays it and just h4 maybe and hope for the best. But I don't even know what you do. What is white's next move? King c7?
The consolation, I'll tell you this, is that even if there's a knight against king situation, the presence of this outside passer basically, I think, guarantees a draw. Oh, but 95. Oh, yeah, 95 here.
Yeah, in this part, getting the bishop on the board, and oh my goodness. Oh
No. That was a terrible move. Carissa had to keep her knight alive. King c7, bishop f8.
Yeah, the king is going to get to e6. The black bishop will get to g7, and Alina's just going to win the game.
And the color of the pawn is correct. So Alina can very safely accept the trade of the d pawn.
Yeah, that is
And Carissa
brutal.
just flags. That is beyond. That is just incredibly brutal. And Alina, you got to give her credit. She's been defending well all match. Even the game she lost, she fought until the very, very end of the game, and she gets rewarded here. That's a heartbreaker for Carissa, though.
That is heartbreaking. Alina was probably around like a 90 to 95% favorite at some point when she was up 4. This game almost would have brought the match within 1. So.
And this was over from the very beginning of the game. It was a winning position. And Alina Kashlinskaya, by winning this game, she goes up by 3 points. The 5-minute portion has concluded. But, ladies and gentlemen, please don't go anywhere because we have 45 minutes of 3+1 coming your way very soon. We'll give the players a little bit of a breather. We'll take one ourselves. You're watching the I Am Not a GM Speed Chess Championship here with the one and only I Am Levy Rozman. We will be back with the 3+1 in just a couple of moments.
Did you know you can watch top chess events right on your phone? You don't even need to download an app. Just open any mobile browser and head to chess.com/events. You can see what's happening right now, check out top games, see results, and so much more. Try it for yourself at chess.com/events.
Oh, he found it. Queen G1,
Queen
knight
G1.
takes G2, and the king is wide open.
Here it goes. Rook. Can the rook follow the queen? Rook
Yes,
C1?
it can, but you get a draw at best.
But maybe the knight is just not that good of a
Queen D1.
Queen D1. Queen D1's an excellent. Okay, he's repeating.
Knight back to D5. Knight H4, though.
Oh,
Knight
knight-
creates mate threats. Knight F6 check. Knight F6
Oh,
check.
knight F6. He found it. Queen A7. Rook D8.
No way.
Oh my gosh!
Oh
Out of
my
absolutely
God.
nowhere.
The Women's Speed Chess Championship is returning this month. The WSCC is the most important online tournament for titled women in the world. Stay tuned to chess.com for all the action, which begins in just a couple of days. Anything that ends in SCC is bound to be very entertaining. We are watching the I Am Not a GM SCC, a barn burner here between Carissa Yip and Alina Kashlinskaya. And we are watching it with International Master Levy Rozman. Levy, 5-minute portion is concluded. It was back and forth. It's a 3-point lead for Alina, and 3+1 is just a completely different game than 5+1.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, first of all, Carissa, it seems like suffers with some of the stuff I suffer with, which is taking too much time in the 5+1 because you just sort of have it. And here you don't have it. Here you just have to move. One thing I was actually going to ask you, I don't know, is Alina playing in the Women's Speed Chess Championship as well?
I think she might be. I have to double check that. I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't know what her world ranking is, but I mean, it seems like a good candidate. So Carissa goes back to this system, even though the Hippo did serve her well.
Here we go with this again. And again, she plays H4. And in response to a move on the side, you strike in the center. So Carissa's following the rules.
Yep. I don't exactly remember how that game went. I think this is actually exactly how it went. Yeah, and then I think we got knight c6.
Who won that game? I'm like totally blanking on what even happened there. Are you experiencing the same thing?
Was that the game with the knight g3 tactic? No,
that was, wasn't it?
Well, yeah, I don't know.
I think that was that game. Stuff happened and then somebody won.
I also feel like in 3-1, a landslide can happen really quickly. You lose a couple of games, there's almost no time to bounce back. Isn't f6 just a very good move here, by the way? Bishop g5.
Well, f6 and good move don't usually belong in the same set. But in this case, I think it is. Because bishop e3, I guess you go knight f5 or maybe even f5.
Computer wanted f5 completely on its own.
Immediately.
Yeah, but I thought this...
So where does the bishop, why is this? So what's going on here? Let's say bishop e3. Then black plays that, h6 first.
That's no way. Now f5 is coming, e5, I mean f5, f4. Doesn't f5, f4 win a pawn?
I believe it does. And the knight, and it's not just any pawn, it's the d4 pawn, which is critical.
Yeah, wow. A quick win with black and another Vienna, you know? I don't want to jinx anything. I jinxed the last game. She had a +4 advantage and ended up going on to lose that game. So
I can't believe she lost that game. It wasn't even a draw.
I know. Well, it's brutal. I mean, when it rains, it pours. 5-1 is a disaster time control for me. I think I lose more than half my... What?
Whoa.
This is not Alina style. No, this is not.
I think this is a panicked reaction after bishop c1. I mean, she's still in the game now. You give up your most important piece on the board, right?
It's crazy that Carissa hasn't taken on e3, by the way. I mean, again, I'm not one to talk. You know, if I was playing, I might be thinking of things differently, but my goodness, I mean, bishop d4, knight c6, like, oh God. Ugh.
This is so ugly. And black would love to avoid a queen trade, but I think it's much more important to take this pawn than I mean, queen e8 is not out of the question. I would consider it. I would actually very seriously consider queen e8 because the king is in such trouble.
Yeah, I mean, the white king is just on f2, for God's sake. You can even play bishop f6 with black, and it's not so clear. White has to go to e4.
But even knight c6, I mean, and again, Carissa's taking so long on these moves. You're not exaggerating. It's even more important to play confidently. You just don't have the time to spend on these kinds of decisions. Also, bishop d4 check is a move.
Yeah, that's
and
what
another
I'm
way
saying.
to avoid a queen trade. Sorry, I blanked.
No, it's okay. Happens to me too. Yeah, I was saying bishop d4, knight c6. The bishop is defended.
Well, I mean, look,
okay. Fine. She takes on c6. I mean, she's still much better.
She spent 45 seconds on that.
Yeah. Wow. Knight d8. Interesting.
Surprise to me. I would play rook d8. Okay,
B2?
can you grab another one?
Yeah. So Alina's just, I mean, she's completely gone like bananas, like in the first game here. I mean, this is.
Oh,
okay.
She wants this.
Bishop C4.
I can see how this would work out if white had a couple of extra tempi, but now, okay, knight f7, bishop a3. No, bishop a3, maybe the knight comes back to e4. You do want to consolidate eventually if you're Carissa, because eventually white's going to get some threats against black's king.
I would just go bishop f6. You might as well create a threat. Okay, that's fine, but the bishop on b2 has no job right now, and I liked going back to f6 first, but fine.
Bishop c4. Technically another pawn sacrifice, but I don't think this one Carissa will take.
This is nuts. I mean, she's playing... Okay, just in time.
Knight back to e4.
Yeah,
and
bishop.
Is black in time to go bishop b7?
b7, you said?
Nah, e7 is better. You want to keep your dark squared bishop. The dark squared bishop like defends all these important squares.
Man, this is so wild.
29 seconds. I'm worried. I'm worried that things will go haywire here for black.
I'm terrified. I mean, 20 is just not... I was just saying you cannot play the same way in 5-1 and 3-1, and she's playing the exact same way.
And there it is, and it's starting to get more complicated. Something like...
Yeah, the problem is what? Because even white has no moves.
Right. See something. Knight
yeah,
e5,
just...
another sacrifice.
Okay, is she down 4 pawns or three pawns? Knight c6.
Uh-oh. And now she's going to eliminate this bishop.
Oh my god.
Check.
I think Carissa might lose this game, which is just unreal.
I mean, she's totally killing herself on the clock. Completely. And takes in rook f1 would be a mating attempt.
Oh, but now somehow white cannot make any more progress somehow. Knight e7, king h8, or even king f7. King f7 traps the knight.
But you can go back to d4. You can go back to e5. How many pawns is white up now? Oh, I don't like that. Rook e8.
Rook e8. GG. Rook 8. Yeah. Wow. Knight d4, you just taken rook e8. Wow.
It's weird because Alina was so generous with her pawns, and then all of a sudden she got way too greedy and played against the spirit of the position. That
was a weird game. Like, I don't know. I feel like of all the games in today's match, that was by far the strangest game by Alina. I mean, it's just not her style. Like I don't know, seemed a bit, you don't know really which one it is. Like, was she just like, I'm up 3 games, whatever, I can just be aggressive? Or was it kind of like a bit of frustration that, she knows that this opening is not good.
Yes.
But she didn't make any adjustments. She played the same way and she just kind of ran into some trouble.
I think it's the latter. I think it's one of those things. I think everybody can relate to that, where you're trying to punish these offbeat openings.
Good move.
And you're getting frustrated with yourself. Yeah. King f7, fork.
Rook e7.
It's over. Resigns.
Yeah. Rook f1, king e8, and then you resign. Or you play on. Okay.
But you're getting progressively more frustrated with every time that your opponent's, why is my opponent getting a good position out of this? And you experience this against Hikaru also, because he plays this stuff with black. And obviously he's like winning in 2 seconds. And you have no idea what you did wrong. So you just start tilting more and more.
Yeah, I experienced that against 2,900 GMs as well.
King h4 and g5 mate.
Yeah, no. This is of course lights out. But why? Push the pawn. Push a pawn, please.
Maybe some stalemate. Okay,
if there's a stalemate in this position, I think I'm gonna just end the commentary. I'll just go b4. Yeah.
Okay, king h4, king h. Yeah. If bishop was on c8, rook g6 would be a draw.
That would be insane.
g5,
completely insane.
Okay, Carissa's gonna flag.
Alina's gonna flag.
Oh, sorry, Alina's gonna flag.
All right. I mean, here we go. I think if Alina looked at anything between games, it was the Vienna. Let's see if maybe not. Oh, there we go.
And she did.
Yep. I predicted it. That was the only. I was going to say it was the only. It seemed like the only place where she actually got into problems, at least with black. She trusts her white openings, but she was very shaky right there, and she has been shaky a couple times against the hippo. So she decided to fill this gap.
But if only she had someone in the house who could like help her with opening preparation, wouldn't that be nice?
I know. I wish I just had like a 27-30 rated player downstairs, just...
Yo, Radek, I'm having some trouble against the Vienna. Help, please.
My former coach actually gave Radek a run for his money. They went down to the Blitz tiebreakers in the Polish Championship, Wojciech Miranda. But yeah, unfortunately, my former coach was defeated by the superstar. Oh, now you take on c6 and you get d4. It's what I told you. Opposite side counseling. Yeah, yep.
It's a hard move to play. It's hard to give up such a bishop, but if you have your eye on the ultimate prize of the d4 square, you start putting the puzzle pieces together.
This is also
and she
fine.
plays d4 first.
Look at the top engine move, knight e7. Middle finger to all of your attempts to taking the knight. You don't play knight. Wow!
She does! And that happened now twice.
Yeah, what a move. And there's a cage, c4, and there's no bishop f5. If bishop d3, c4, there's no bishop f5.
What do you do? How do you avoid losing a bishop?
Apparently, have to, bishop g5 is the only move.
But how does that prevent c4? Oh, because of knight f4.
Uh-oh.
Something's coming. Some crazy. Oh my God, Levy. It's just bishop b5 and a4. And apparently you have a huge attack. Can you believe that?
Oh, I was about to say, actually, what exactly is so wrong with DC knight d4? Not much, I guess. But
wait,
yeah,
where?
Well, she just played dc5 in the game.
Oh, and knight d4 covers the check and defends the bishop. Because it's knight f5 first.
Yeah, and you gotta sacrifice, I guess. But
and the reason is because now queen c5 is a threat, as is bishop c5.
Yep. Rough. Wow. And that's exactly why you have to take. And knight e7 is a super oops.
Bishop c5, knight d4, and queen b6. Is it the move?
Yeah. Well, queen b6. Okay. Well, now there's bishop f4. Well, queen b6 looked so natural. Attack the bishop and take d4, but okay.
Queen b6 ended the game instantly because you're threatening. Yeah, you're threatening the pin. You're threatening the bishop. That's it. And Alina has to find these moves. You got to find the moves that put the game away completely like that.
Carissa's down. Oh, I would again. A bishop b2 is not a move you could ever pay me to play. But she's down a minute again, man. She's down a minute.
Imperceptibly, and this will be her downfall if she keeps doing this. If she keeps digging herself into a hole on the clock.
But there's enough tactics on the board. I mean, queen e3 is just such a calm move. Just trade the queens.
That's a Russian schoolboy move right there. Just get the queens off the board and eliminate all of the tactical potential in white's position. That's such a tilting move. There's nothing worse than facing this.
Yep. It would be even more tilting if she finds knight d6 to try to play knight e4. Although I don't exactly know what you're supposed to do after bishop d3, but luckily I'm not playing the game.
Is it knight e4 anyway and maybe go after a2 in the end? Because I want that outside passer.
If knight e4 happens, that's just so demoralizing.
Oh my God. Alina's playing just low key, playing an incredible game with the exception of missing queen b6.
Wow.
I guess Carissa should keep the pieces on the board, play like rook fe2 and prage, but I don't think any amount of praying is going to save you here.
Yeah, this is...
Oh, maybe. Maybe.
Oh, I really don't like the time management. But it's clear that Alina made some sort of adjustment there with the Vienna. But I mean, I'm just cheering for a close match. That's all. So if I want Carissa to win a few games, and but 2 or 3 games is striking distance.
Mm-hmm. It's sort of a one possession game. It's like being down 10 in basketball, right? You just need one little run.
Yes, or 7 points in bullet. That was unbelievable.
Wait, what are you talking about? No, the Kanti match.
No, I was gonna say, didn't Muradli come back from down 7 games or something?
He was down 5 in the bullet. He might have been down 7 earlier in the match, but honestly, commentating that was one of the most incredible things because we're paid to say, right? We want to keep people watching the match. So you're not going to say it's over. I got scolded early on in my commentary career. I kind of said, oh, the match is over, well before it was over. You want to keep people watching. So now I kind of say that as a matter of course. And this is the one time where it actually turned out to be true. It actually was not over.
Yeah, unbelievable resolve. I came back from, I think, 3 games down against Greg and 4 against Eric. But I mean, if it was 7, I would have just were you not watching my Rosen match, man, in the bullet? That was a crazy match.
I was flying.
Right. I forgot you have the private jet. You like to take it for a spin sometimes.
Occasionally I like to tour the country. Yeah.
I was, I think I was down 3 in the bullet with 10 minutes left.
Oh my goodness.
And I won 4, and then he won the final game to go to overtime.
Okay. Now I got to watch the replay of that.
It was, as I'm telling you, my heart rate was, after that, I celebrated with some pizza. So
and some beverage.
it was soda. No,
Did you finish the wine that you had before your
Yes.
other IMSCC match?
Yes. No, it was against Eric. I finished the glass of wine prior, but
Because
yeah.
once you open a bottle, you've got like 2 days. You got to go to town on that thing.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, Carissa's still keeping the game going, but this is a game Alina will take many minutes off the clock, and I think.
Remember with you Dyson, I played this position, yeah.
You Dyson.
That is not a name you hear every day, although he is from New York.
Yeah, he does play a lot of tournaments here. He's a very entertaining guy. Okay, knight c3. I mean, Carissa has no counterplay. Oh my goodness, knight d1. Ay.
But then you take on e3 with check. Very important detail. Oh my god, Alina is just on the ball this game.
Yeah,
and Carissa short-circuited there. Although it was hopeless. Oh, the bishop was also, the other bishop was hanging too.
Yeah, everything was hanging.
I didn't even see that.
E6. Oh, now you're not gonna. Oh, she's going back to this because she's had success.
Alina just needs to not play h4. Just go knight c3. And
h4.
Please don't play h4. I've had enough of those bizarre games.
It's the best move, actually. So maybe she's playing it because she knows it's the best move. So she's struggling now. She's like, damn, I'm playing this h4, but I don't understand it. So she's playing solid, but now d5. And
yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's not easy to play against this if you don't A, play the best moves, and B, know how to handle those positions. That's the issue. She can't combine those two. So she's playing solidly, but now black gets everything they want. At some point, Carissa will play b6, c5, and or that move. I did not think that was the way you play it, but okay.
Well, you're making some long-term weaknesses on the king side. I suppose Carissa just wants to get, okay, you can place, she plays knight c6, so she's going after this pawn. Knight f5 is next. Well, first she has to move the rook. But it can get really precarious if you're not careful.
Knight f5. Yeah. Bishop e3, and then you just take it. And knight e7, c6, knight f5, knight d6. Carlsbad knight on g6, and okay, just big attack.
Right, exactly.
She hung d4. She hung d4 again.
Oh my God, takes and take d4.
What? This is like the third time that's happened.
God, Alina is just epically struggling against this hippo. I mean, she's just getting lost positions in 15 moves.
It's
whether
not even
plays h4 or not.
Do you know the actual name of the g6 e6 system?
No. Does it have an actual name?
It's called the Malachov system.
Really? After Vladimir Malachov, the
yes,
grandmaster and chemist?
I did not know he was a chemist, but yes. But yeah, I think Malachov used to play g6 e6. It's incredible how effortless she's making this look, because when I play this with black, I mean, I don't do it any much justice. So she's there's knight h4 with the idea of queen g5 and knight f3 check.
Oh my lands, 2 knights aiming at that square.
But you can also just play c6. I would just play c6. I love that structure. It's so aesthetic.
Yeah, when you restrict the knight like that, and then you have that, you're just totally biting on granite. There it is.
Yes. Perfect. Now just chill. Bishop d7, no rush.
Yeah, chill is right. What you don't want to do in these positions is go like nuts and start. I mean, I actually kind of like the look of knight h4, but first you have to coordinate your rooks, and she does.
Queen f6, I would just play.
But okay, not so clear. Yeah, some ideas here still.
Like
Queen f6, g4, but then queen g5.
Oh yeah, exactly. I was gonna say I don't exactly know what white's next move is. Yeah, I would just play queen f6 here. I was also looking at queen b8.
Oh, look at you.
Just trading the queen. Just want to be a scumbag, you know? You want to get counterplay? Get counterplay against the queen trade.
Nothing more tilting than that.
I feel like Alina would play queen b. Oh,
well, you're on a roll.
Wow.
Queen d2. White has to keep the queens on the board.
That's a depressing move. But then you get the queen to d6 with black, and the queen jumped over the bishop like a kangaroo, and then life is good.
Fox. What's that? The brown fox jumps over the lazy.
No, the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog. What?
Right.
I thought that move just lost on the spot, but I guess not.
Oh, because the other knight is hanging. Oh my God, I forgot about that.
No, knight e3, you just take the bishop, I think.
Oh my God, and that's not defended either. Okay, that was wrong on so many different levels. Let's just forget I ever said that.
I know, I was like, oh, she can't go queen g4. And then they play the move and you're like, what?
Not a single part of what I just said was correct. But now h6.
Yeah, exactly. Just h6. And I also have been waiting for white to play the move queen f4 for a while. Obviously now that hangs mate in 2, but I really want to get the queen to f4 somehow.
Yeah, she's sort of a boa constrictor herself. But again, look at the clock. It's going to come back to haunt her eventually. Maybe this game.
Carissa, move! just 20 seconds.
There's a mate in 2 threat. You got to defend against it.
Oh my goodness.
Knight F3, is there knight E3? Okay, now the bishop's defended, and now the knight isn't hanging. So, oh wait, queen H6. Oh my god.
It literally doesn't matter. She just has to make the knight F3. I don't care. King G7. Just make a move. Just make a move. Because the thing is, after knight F3, when you have 20 seconds, you can't calculate knight E3. You're gonna default to playing solid quick moves.
You play Blitz. Stop waiting for Messiah to arrive.
I mean, he's just straight up. By the way, like I mean, you know, if he arrives, he arrives. Just play moves.
Right.
Okay, I mean, and what is Alina thinking about, by the way? Can I ask?
Knight F3. It's weird. No, it is weird. I guess bishop takes F5 is another candidate move, but obviously that simplifies the position, gives black an easier game. And it's one of those things like you got to play it whether it works or not. It's immaterial whether this loses. Your only chance as Alina right now is to put pressure on black's clock. And she does take on F5. I don't like that.
Interesting, but now just knight F5, right? I mean, yeah, just only knight F5. I mean, I just king G7 here. Like I wouldn't even think, just king G7. Like okay,
king G7 is actually a great move.
G4. You think Alina's going to play G4 here? Is that her style?
Well, she might, because the threat of knight E3 essentially forces you into desperate measures. Like, what else do you do, right? Knight E. Oh, she does.
Now you have to play knight E5 probably, and then queen G3, F4, and then I'm actually not convinced who's winning.
Actually, king G7 didn't turn out to be accurate, and there she goes.
Right, but it's a quick move because you have 10 seconds. You have to play it. Oh my goodness, F4.
And now she's got 7 seconds. No, now I think probably Alina has better. Oh, queen H6 is a move, but you don't want to do it.
Wow.
You don't want to get rid of the queens.
Get rid of the queen! What? What?
Oh my god.
Oh,
she literally, the ironic thing about that is she played G4 in order to stop the pin, and then she just played G4, G5.
I know she got but Carissa's time got her excited because she's like, oh, I gotta I'm F4. She was her best position in a while.
That was maybe not even worse for white anymore. I mean,
no, it wasn't. I thought you'd like rotate the queen and everything, but yeah, she just
rotate the queen.
Are we impersonating someone?
Right. I mean, do the ice skaters just rotate juicer to Bastion? Just honestly, Alina's blunder. You know, this is honestly really weird because she did play G4, rotate the juicer the knight.
Is that Hikaru or Hans, or did you just put them in a blender?
That more put them in a blender. No, that's Hikaru.
Oh, I see.
I think I have an inside joke with my stream where I'll like just say the word rotate in like a Hikaru voice. Like rotate, you know.
Oh,
Even though he doesn't really do that, I still do it.
Yeah, I obviously, you know, take the juicer, and then I like to do. Today I bobbed my head to a song, and someone told me to stop impersonating Hikaru. I was like, man, I didn't realize head movement is patented to Hikaru now too.
Everything is, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Danya. Sometimes you like go into an impression, and I'm like, is he making fun of me? Did I say something? But then you're doing an impression. It's. By the way, this time she took C6, but she doesn't have the knight on E2, which is where it should be. So she's doing it this way.
On G5.
Yeah. Now H6, knight E6, and it's just equal. But the knight should be on E2, and the bishop should be on E3. But I mean, not everybody is world-renowned expert on Vienna system. But okay.
Very true. This isn't how Roman Empire was toppled.
How was it toppled?
It wasn't really even toppled.
No, I suppose. It collapsed. Also shout out to Chessbra. Usually Aman is doing commentary on these really brilliant elucidating games. Is that a word? Did I just use a narrow word?
Elucidating?
Yeah.
I think you should ask the expert on this, Lucy.
That's hilarious, but
that was
no, elucidating means make something clear or explain. Right.
Comes from the word lucid, like light.
Yeah, no, that's not the word I was going for. But let's just stick to the fact.
But I'm glad you elucidated the definition of that word.
Correct. Yeah, we are watching a match that is very, very close consistently to getting closer, but cannot get closer than 2 games.
Right. It's like almost close, but it's not quite. It will be close if Carissa wins, but it's not looking. Ooh.
It's a free pawn. What?
Well, she wants to take c2 in the end, but why give white's queen access to the e7 square?
Okay, I'm not gonna lie to you. I did not remember that c2 was hanging. I apologize. But also, if she takes c2, there's rook f8, queen e7.
But then queen f2.
Queen f2, queen f2, queen f2, queen f2.
You're gonna speak that. You're gonna speak that into existence. Just you watch.
I see why I play the games. And well, can you play queen c2, queen e7?
Yeah, that's what I think you should play, because c5 is hanging, e6 is hanging, and h7 is hanging, and all of those pawns are pretty takeable and should probably be taken.
Right. So you don't play rook f8, you play queen e7. Okay, yeah. There's queen f2, queen f1.
But why would Alina go from that position to this position? What is it that appealed to her about this?
Rook g8 mate.
Right.
I mean, rook g8 on its own is not mate, but there is a threat.
Whoa, rook
fb1 is unplayable, I think.
Rook fb1. Oh my god, threatening mate and the e6 pawn.
Yeah.
I think Carissa's going to take e6.
Yeah, it's very natural. And rook ab1 is wrong because rook takes rook. Or queen d4 also. You have some also rook f1 and queen e5, like different stuff like that. So man,
Carissa's taking her time.
Rook fb1 is an incredible move. I think if she plays rook fb1, she's going to win the match. But
I think the last time you said that she did
lost and went down 3 games and almost lost again. And yeah, but rook fb1, I think if she plays, I mean, that's a game changer.
30 seconds though. Carissa better show something. Oh, queen a7. That's she plays it. Wow.
That's it. Live odds just flipped by like 400. Oh my goodness. But now if Alina can play like b6, queen a5, trying to hold it all together, that's the only way apparently.
So you don't want to give this check on d4 because then the queen can't go back to the defense. Queen d4 check actually loses the game.
Actually, yeah, I guess, because then you can't defend mate.
White just takes everything on the queen side.
Wow, what a move. Amazing
rook
move.
f1. You move. It's so hard on so many levels. You move the rook away from an open file.
Yep.
You don't move it to a square where it attacks the queen, and instead you just got to sense the fact that b6 is such a compromising move.
Yep. I mean, it's brutal on many fronts.
Alina has to play b6. That's the only 2 candidate moves here, right? Are queen d4 and b6. Assuming blundering mate is not a candidate move.
For them, no. For them, no. For other participants of the tournament, perhaps. But
we won't mention who they are.
Yeah, we will not. I mean, maybe they're me. Who knows? Queen a5 here is you have to play. I cannot imagine you. Oh, queen e5. You can also convince yourself because the white rook can't move.
Yeah, why is queen e5? Is I guess queen b6, and there's just too many avenues and too many streets that white can invade on.
Yeah, but queen a5 is depressing also because you're real. I mean, there's no going back from queen a5.
Breaking news alert: Alina actually is the first one to reach 10 seconds.
Yeah, that has not happened this match at all. Queen b6, and here we go. The king's running.
King d7. Gotta go.
That must lose.
Or not.
Rook b5 hangs a rook, so don't do that.
Carissa's just taking everything, and the depressing thing about this position is that white is up a pawn. You can just go queen f2 and chill.
Yeah, all endgames.
You don't need to hurry, or just push the a pawn.
King h1. Rook c1 is coming.
Maybe make some luft, yeah.
Queen a6 and or that.
I like queen b2. It's chill.
Yep.
Alina's not
queen g7.
I mean,
queen g7.
Queen h7.
That's no. Really? You can actually.
It's called a pin.
It's called a pin. Wow, dude. And she plays it. Amazing. A4 or something?
I have a story about that. I wouldn't take it though. I know it's tempting, but now Alina gets the chance to create a passer. In my experience, these endgames are never that easy, Levy.
Nope. No, they're not. I know
it's +6, but it's not easy.
It's not +6 like 2 pieces up +6. Because you try to play too solidly. Okay, rook c2, h4.
But okay, rook a3.
Yeah, but rook just okay, yeah, but rook a3 that's a Danya move.
Here comes it's winning.
There's the Hikaru quote, by the way.
No, king g5. Oh my god, 1 second. She's choking it. Don't go king e2. She's gonna flag.
King e3, rook d2, rook d2, rook d2.
Don't. Black is better.
Black is better. This is crazy.
Oh my god, black is winning. No, flag.
Oh my
god. Trading queens in that position, that is That's one of those mistakes that just comes from not, experiencing enough tragic losses in these types of endgames.
Wow.
Every time we say it might get close.
I literally said I wasn't gonna jinx it, and I didn't talk about who was going to win this game.
No, you didn't, to your credit.
Every time we get the match super close, right there for the win. Yeah, no, you made a great point. Like, you have 5 seconds on the clock, and I also think she's playing on a touch screen because she keeps just looking in a different direction than normal. So, brutal. I mean, just wow.
Knight F5. Now she's much better. Right out of the gate. Again, it's a hippo. 11 moves, minus plus.
And she's lost. She's losing this D4 pawn like in every opening. It's just insane.
It's nuts. She's either sacking it or she's losing it.
She should just stop playing 1D4. Don't even put it out there, or play D4 C3.
No, she should play D4 and then not put the pawn on E4. She can pretend it's a gambit though.
How is she down with the D4 pawn in every game with white? It's
nuts.
I mean, this is such an odd match.
Rook E1 was a bad move. And then she played, Alina's just treating this like an advanced French, but it's not. H6
and bishop before G5. Queen E5, Queen E5, Queen E5 was just, oh my goodness.
Queen E5 was another pawn.
Wow.
Tough. Back and forth goes the eval barber. Rook AC8, again, you just got to play chill here and you got to play fast.
Does Alina play much bullet? I don't think so, right? Neither one of them.
I don't believe so. No, I don't think either one of them. And if Carissa's on a touchscreen, that spells trouble in the context of bullet.
Yep, it definitely does.
That's going to be a problem.
Wow, bishop H3.
That's an ugly looking move, but
you got to do something.
I
don't know what's so bad.
Wait a minute. There's knight takes D5 ideas. So White just needs to play her cards right. Maybe Queen D3. And I'm really worried Carissa will go knight C6.
You might as well just go back to F5, right?
But I feel like she wants to go to C6 and go after the E5 pawn.
Or knight B3.
Well, maybe this isn't such a bad move, yeah.
Yeah, because I guess you take C1, B2, etc. But just go back to F5. Okay, yeah, you were right.
Jinxed it as usual.
You were right. You know. Well, maybe she thinks she has like knight D5, knight E. Oh no, the queen is hanging on B6.
And then if she takes, then the rook is. So ED, bishop D7. If we make these moves, with knight E5. Oh, there's simply rook takes E5. And then at the end of the day, it's white. It's just equal. Another advantage lost. And again, she's falling behind on the clock. It's like the two big narratives of the match.
Yeah, it's pretty surreal how every single thing has come true. Like, we keep predicting various tactical patterns, and the openings just have a consistent theme. Carissa -1 with black after 15 moves, and Carissa now she's trending in the direction of getting slightly worse positions with white for some reason in the Vienna. But she's still somehow finding a way to get winning positions, and then just too slow. And this is just a draw, of course.
Too slow and impractical decision-making. That last game really stuck with me because it's a great example of if you keep the queens on the board, Black's king is so weak that there's no way that Alina survives that for more than 3 moves. As soon as you get a rook endgame, Black has a very easy game there. Alina had only one plan. It was to attack White's D3 pawn. So not to, fixate on that game, but that was a huge example of some of the things that Carissa's doing, to sabotage her chances in the match.
Yeah, it's so tough. It's bishop takes B2 is one way to, grab a pawn and maybe try to. Actually, why exactly is this not just more than? Is there bishop H6? Is that why?
I guess bishop H6, and if bishop A3, is there some sort of Queen E5? The bishop could come back to B2, so that's not a problem. I guess we're about to find out. Oh, is it like rook D3, rook B3? Nah. It's like, want to hear a joke about sodium? Okay. Want to hear a joke about potassium? Nah.
I can't believe you just said that out loud. I also cannot believe that the position was -1 for a second. Why was it -1 after
it
Queen
was?
E5? Yeah, after Queen E5 apparently was -1.
I think it might have been the move I mentioned. Yeah, bishop B2 back with tempo.
Yep.
With tempo. Now it's oh my god. Oh no, okay. Black can play King G7. So it's not losing for Black.
No.
But you don't want to miss bishop H6. I guess you can push the F pawn also. And rook F7, but okay. Draw. Time.
Yeah. How much time is left?
So
10
in
minutes.
the on the match, already. Wow, I can't believe 35 minutes have passed. I haven't even checking the match clock.
I know Carissa's got to draw this game and then maybe win with white. She has to. Carissa's also one of these players that I hate their profiles on chess.com because it's a photo of like a 6-year-old. And I'm just like,
have that.
Yeah, I know. And like, I'm like, you've aged like 10 to 15 years. I don't want to think that I am losing to a 6-year-old. It's like how there's an account called the Chess Child. Have you ever played that account?
No.
It's like an account with the Indian flag who has a photo of a 1-year-old baby. And it always beats me. It's 2,800 Blitz.
I like how you're calling it.
I don't know if it's like a robot, a cyborg. I don't know if it's male, female. I don't know if it's an adult. Like, I don't know, man. I'm just confused.
No, I had that. And then of course chat catches on when you lose someone like that with a profile picture. Oh, you lost it. Like, you lost a 4-year-old? Oh my God.
Chat acting like they wouldn't lose to a 4-year-old.
Right. No, I had that, and then I realized how annoying it was. So I finally changed it, and I pressed the requisite 2 buttons, which is a monumental task for me, of course.
Well, you know, we're streamers. A rook d1, by the way, for Carissa.
Yeah. By the way, is that just like winning?
It was definitely paralysis of some sort. She has actually a very annoying looking position, but
yeah, but now rook f6 is a huge threat. Okay, she stops it.
Can you?
I feel
is
like
there any way to win this with black?
Black is flirting with disaster. Rook f6 and rook g6.
Yeah, but then rook d1.
Well, okay, but I think she might go b2 and miss rook b6. Okay, she does go rook d1.
Okay, so I think Alina missed that. So now Alina has to sack the bishop and then play a bishop versus. Yeah, exactly.
King f4. The eval is giving white an advantage. That's nuts.
Yeah, well, she missed her chance. But I guess you're gonna trade rooks and it will just be a draw. I guess she'll play rook. Oh, never mind.
Well,
Carissa might win.
I don't like g4. I think you can also just hole up. You can go king g2, rook a2, and black has no way to make progress. Now, unless there's a flagging situation, 1 second move.
Oh yeah, Carissa might flag. I mean, she might just straight up lose on time. This is just
but she's making progress. She's winning all of the pawns.
Carissa, move. Oh my goodness.
No. You can't. How can you allow that to happen? You gotta pre-move something.
Yeah, I guess she's playing on a touchpad or something.
Why is she playing on a touchpad? Like, I don't understand why you put yourself in that position.
I don't know.
I just don't get it.
I also don't get it. It's not over, but it's a 4-game match now.
I mean, 2 games in a row that just the fact that she got 0 out of the last 2 is unbelievable.
Yep. And it's trending towards it. I mean, the bullet is just going to get away from her. I mean, maybe not. Maybe she like has to play faster, so she will. But
I mean, this just shows you the value of pre-moves. You need to avoid a situation where, where you play bishop e2 randomly, where you just like every move you get to 0.2 or 0.3 seconds, because eventually you're going to fail to execute a move. That's why you need to pre-move 3 or 4 moves.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, the more you play, the more you get in rhythm, so you know what you should be pre-moving and what you can expect from the opponent. And I'm sure you've experienced this. You've had those 50, 100 game matches with like Minlay or something. You even know you can predict exactly what he's going to do. You can read his mind in the middle of a scramble, because you know the kind of player he is. You know the kind of tricks that he likes. So
yeah, and everybody has their own brand of pre-moving. And what you're saying is so true, because like people don't always understand that. Some people are, when they'll have their dirty tricks, with others, like their pre-moves are predictable 100% of the time. Like they try to play objectively all of the time. And so you can tailor your pre-moves to theirs.
Yep. There's a legendary clip of me playing bishop h6 against you on YouTube.
Yep. I remember that because I didn't know who you were either. I was like, I'm playing this Gotham chess.
Yeah, and that was like ages ago. And there's an account that's been going around on YouTube, like taking clips from streams from like 2018, 2019. I don't know how they unearthed. It's like they have a database of them. So the clip is called something like, Narrow Rages at Gotham Chess. And at some point during that clip, you're like, oh, he Lefonged me. And somebody in the comments was like, yeah, Lefong was playing on Levy's account. I was like, yo, it's crazy. Like some of those ancient Twitch chess clips and the threads that they generate, because that was before chess boomed.
Right.
And Yeah, I mean, I like did that one time to you, and then people are like, "Oh, but he would crush him in normal games." It's like, yeah, and
Right.
Danny,
No, I totally know what you mean. And that's before I learned how to control my emotions on the stream.
No, but you didn't even rage. You were like, "Oh, that's what he wants to do." It was like very mild. It was like, "Huh, that was kind of a dirty trick," you know. It was, you know. But
Sorry, you were saying.
no, I was just gonna. I was saying I was gonna ask you what it's like to be, you know, top 5 in the world in 3-0 Blitz.
It's a pretty good feeling, although, you know, I have this irrational nervousness. I have this imposter syndrome that occurs sometimes where sometimes I start streaming and I'm like, what if I just lose? Like I've had a couple of days like that where I just literally go down to 2,900 and I just can't explain it. It's like I lose all ability to see the board properly. None of my tricks seem to work, but when it's working, I'm completely in the zone. Like I love time scrambles. I love optimizing my speed. It's crazy that I get to do this for a living. I monetize my fun.
You and I are very similar in that regard, except I'm 400 points lower rated. Like there's streams that I go from 2780 to 2590, and I just lose like every game. There's nothing I can do. And then there's streams where I'm sacking queens for like force mate, like, you know, you just see everything. Literally, you see everything. You predict everything. It's an interesting feeling.
And there's a bizarre thing about that, which is that it's not always the fact. Sometimes it's because I slept badly, or you can just sort of feel it, right? You just have this nasty feeling that you're in bad form. But other times I can't explain it. It's just like my brain decides to switch off. And I've been trying to understand what the preconditions are. Yeah, sometimes it's stress, but not always. Like it can be completely unpredictable sometimes, which makes it scary.
Yeah, it's definitely scary. I never know. I boot up the stream, and in the first 5 games, I know what kind of a stream it's going to be.
Oh, always. You just even some of the first game, you're like, oh, this is. And I always like to when I lose, I always get so negative. I'm like, okay, clearly not my day to day.
Yeah,
and then I just repeat that 5 times.
Great stream. Apparently, it's a draw if Carissa plays Queen F8, but then there's Bishop D8. What? Oh, because Rook D1, Queen C2. This is almost like not defendable. It feels
Played.
like.
This is on the board.
B3 only move. Yeah.
Yeah, let me show this. Rook D1 gets checkmated with this very nice little sequence.
She finds it.
This is a big game.
Yeah.
3.5 left. So we'll have time for one more after this one. Oh, and the point is, after Black takes on C1 and on F1, both bishops are hanging, so Black has to give perpetual. Is that accurate?
Why can't White walk to A3?
Uh-oh. Did Carissa make a mistake of some sort?
Oh, she had to go King C2 and Knight D2. Because now the knight is hanging, and that way the king would have guarded the knight.
Yeah, but how do you defend this bishop? Because if you defend it with a queen, then I take your bishop and you can't take my knight. Do you defend it with a king?
King C8.
Oh my God. And if knight D6 check, you just go king D7 and bishop B7. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I mean, it's actually findable. Like, because just out of nothingness, you're just like, well, everything else doesn't work. No, right. She plays the more human move. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Now you have to find King C8. Now you have to find King C8.
And if she didn't find it in the last move, I feel like she might go like Queen D3. And then after King A4, Carissa should be able to win.
King C8 is also tough to play. Well, she plays it, but
shuts up the haters, including the commentator.
Yeah. King A4. Because BA4 knight Queen C4, of course. Okay, it's incredible you're not getting mated.
I was thinking the same thing. Queen A3. Oh my God, Queen A3 A6 almost works. It's just that Queen takes A2 creates a retreating square on B3 on A3.
What a move! I would never trade queens here, but to be honest, maybe you have to. Also, you're up 4 games. You might as well trade queens, right?
Can you play Queen F2 though and just keep the threats alive given the time situation?
Probably, but I mean, like I said, 8.5, 4.5. Why? Yeah, she just trades. But is there any life to this endgame?
Yeah, there certainly is. I would probably take Black.
Bishop on C7, and then
I'm worried about White's kingside pawns in the long run.
King B5, by the way. Knight A5.
Knight A5. Okay, but now the king is tied down to the pawn, and here comes Black's king.
Oops. A5. Who wants to trade pawns? I don't. Okay, she plays it.
Now the king is banished. 2 seconds.
Smart. But she's gonna lose on time, dude. I mean, at this rate, she's gonna lose on time again.
We've seen this before.
G4.
And Alina just does a great job of keeping herself with 3 seconds left on the clock.
Man.
Yay. And she's also probably lost to the outside passer.
Move! Oh,
Marissa.
God.
Alina now also. Aye. Here we go with this again.
She's flagged 3 games in a row.
I mean, it's just nuts. She just used to not be able to execute her moves fast enough.
Yeah, crazy.
Alina with a victorious sip of water.
Yeah, it's. I mean, I think both winners and losers deserve water, but yeah, I mean, what can you do? I mean, what can you do? So sad. Who is next in the side of the bracket, by the way? Do we have a bracket?
We definitely have a bracket. We could pull that up at some point. Such as now we have Williams and Wrench.
No. That's I guess the next matchup. But the question was, who is the winner of this matchup playing? And that seems to be Lawrence Trent.
It is Lawrence Trent. Sorry, I wasn't looking at the right spot.
Yeah, Trent. What a match win, yeah, versus Greg. Incredible. Yeah, he just came to play that day.
But I love that. I feel like we should have more wholesome toxicity in chess. You know, like
yeah, they were great.
They're awesome. I always look forward to their match.
When there's a creator clash of boxing, who would you like to box?
Oh, like
you saw that, right? Yeah, there was like a big YouTube boxing event in Tampa, Florida recently.
Was it? But it wasn't related to chess players. No,
of course not. How could you miss that? Come on.
I was like, what? Where have I been living? No, I don't really follow boxing. But did it have any like Floyd Mayweather types?
No, it was just YouTubers boxing for the first time. They would just train.
It was YouTubers. I see what you're saying.
Yeah. Would you partake in that? I feel like you would.
Well, I don't have too many brains left to begin with, so I feel like I don't have much to lose.
No, I feel like you get nice payday. They always want to. Well, anytime I talk about this on the stream, they try to make me fight everybody. So I've hypothetically lost boxing matches to you, Hikaru, Magnus, the Botes sisters, Nemo, Anna Kram. Like I'm like 0-20. But yeah, I don't know. Who would you like to punch in the face for money?
Oh God, that is a can of worms. I don't know if I want to open.
How tall are you? Are you like 6'3"?
6'2".
Okay, but like 6'4" on like when you tell people.
On a good day.
Yeah. All right, 6'2". All right, we got to find you a 6'2" guy. How big's Amon?
Amon, he's probably similar. Hansen, I think they're pretty similar height to me.
You'd box Eric Hansen?
I don't know about that. He's got a pretty intimidating track record. So.
No, I mean, yeah, 1-0 in amateur chess fights. No, I mean, people always want to, get me against Eric Hansen. I'm like, Eric Hansen's like 6 inches taller than me. I think I'm good. How about Agad Mathur? He's like your height.
Yeah, you'd be
imagine.
We'd start boxing and be like, for those of you who are just along for the show, you just start like rattling.
And and then now we have a completely new game. Just
right. You can't tall.
Oh man, that'd be great. But we only talk about it in hypotheticals. And
no, totally.
No, we got Bach in the chat. Bach's a good opponent.
Yeah, he actually, I think he's even taller than me.
He's Dutch, bro. Like, if you're not 6'2" and you're Dutch, like, what did you even do? Like, what happened? I feel like the average height in the Netherlands is like
6'8". Yeah.
I think people look at Anish and they're like, where is this guy? He's good. I think Anish is like 5'10", 5'9". I don't know.
Right. But Van Whaley, like all of the Dutch GMs and Lithuanian GMs too. And honestly, unbelievable.
Yep. They're huge. Sorry, folks. We're talking about people punching each other in the face because
right.
Carissa has flagged 3 games in a row, and we want her to make a comeback, but sadly, she needs to like somehow avoid situations she has less than 10 seconds. And I'm not one to talk, I'm really not, but I also don't flag that much. So
no, but yeah, I mean, it's not. I think it's one of those things. It's not that she's incapable of playing fast. She has shown that she has good instincts, but she keeps getting herself, as you said, into these time scramble situations, and then for some reason she keeps flagging. I don't get why it happens every time. She's just got to force herself to play fast.
Yep. Something, I don't know. It's not like super hard to do. You just kind of are like, well, if I play fast, then maybe I lose. But if I play slow, maybe I lose. So
right.
I forget who said it. There was some book. It was like, it's, it's good to pace yourself in a long game, because if you play extremely well for 35 moves, but you throw the game away moves 35 to 40, it's still a loss. It's the same as blundering on move 20, but playing faster. Like at some point, you're going to learn that skill of managing your time efficiently. So, but
Right.
I was just going to commend Carissa for her time management. Then I realized she's playing black. I actually thought she was playing white this whole game. Oops.
Well, it's a hippo, so
Yep.
what do you expect? That's transposed into like almost a Rui Lopez.
Yeah, it's a super complicated structure.
Well, F5 is common, but okay.
Yeah, apparently F5 is like not even coming. I mean, it's like you look at the engine, it never wants to play F5, but like you have to play F5. I mean, Knight
That's
C4.
a devilish little move by Alina.
Yep. Just go back, Knight AB6.
Oh, and Knight B2, Knight D3 also. Although that Knight might never get back.
Yeah, it's just going in there to die.
Yeah. Okay. So what's happening here? There's a clump of random minor pieces on the queen side, and I have no idea how they're coordinated or like what each of them are doing.
Yep. Okay, F5. Come on, this is the Carissa specialty. You don't know what else to do in a position, just play F5. Come on, she's even lost her touch.
20 seconds, and now here comes Alina's H-pawn, and the opportunity train has left. The ship has sailed.
Yeah, H5 of G5, and you're not gonna. Oh, King H2, Bishop H2. I mean, it's.
I'm looking only at the clock because it's happening again.
Yep, King H2, Bishop H3 is what I was.
But you could just watch it happening, and again, she's down to 10 seconds, and she's down to 7, and to 6 and 5.
And she lost the game.
Blundered a piece. She blundered a piece. She blundered a piece. Oh, the knight is just hanging.
It's just hanging. Yeah, and.
Oh my gosh, Carissa's just in free fall the last couple of games, and she just resigns.
Wow, I'm shocked that she was able to resign. And she had enough time to I mean, I know, because it's chess.com doesn't want you to resign. They're like, are you sure? No, are you really sure?
Are you absolutely positive? You didn't do this by accident?
Yeah, I mean, you know what they say, don't resign if there's a knight on the board. I mean, she attacked the rook. Why resign? I mean, white hasn't moved the rook yet. Oh, Danya, it was a fun match while it lasted, but we've seen crazier comebacks, huh?
We have seen crazier comebacks, and we really have this time. So provided that Carissa can play fast, I would put faith into her intuition. So she just has one goal in this bullet segment in these 30 minutes, which is to, as Levy said, not allow these situations where she drops under 10 seconds. Whatever it is she needs to do, go out to Best Buy and buy a mouse in the next 3 minutes, because we're going to give her exactly 3 minutes. We're going to let the players take a breather, but it's a 6-point match. We will see if Carissa has what it takes to mount a miracle comeback. But first, a short break. Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the I Am Not a GM SCC. We will be back with a final segment of today's match on the other side of the break.
Blue check marks. Everybody loves blue check marks. Chess.com is excited to launch its own blue check mark today with our verified members program. And for the first time, for any online platform anywhere, there will be a transparent and clear process to how you become verified and get that blue check mark. Any Chess.com member can become verified by having their account linked to a real identity with a unique payment form and SMS held privately in their profile. Most importantly, applicants must pass a comprehensive fair play screening in order to get verified. All right, but besides the blue check mark, why should you become verified? First and foremost, all verified players are eligible to play in the Chess.com Global Championship. With $1 million in prizes, including regular cash prizes for non-titled members, this massive and historic event has but one cost of entry: your $15 verification fee in order to become verified. Additionally, other verified benefits will include access to regular verified-only events, listing on verified-only leaderboards, priority pairings against other verified-only members, and more. To learn more about how to become verified, if you're watching this during one of our live shows, use the command verified in chat, or if you're watching it anywhere else, go to chess.com/verified today and go get that beautiful butterfly. I mean, blue check mark. What is going on here? Hey, Elon. Yeah, no, you saw the news. I know you like buying companies with blue check marks, but we're not for sale. Dude, do you even know how to move the pieces? All right. All right, we're going to get back to this later. I got to record a video. Thanks, buddy. Elon.
Welcome back to the I Am Not a GM Speed Chess Championship. 2 of the segments have been played. We have just the bullet remaining as we have a look here at the Smarter Chess Stats brought to you by ChessGoals.com. Levy, it is with great gusto that I say that the Smarter Chess predictions have been wrong. That is the most important part of the match. But Carissa will have to turn the bullet predictions on its head to make a comeback in this match.
Yeah, I mean, flagging aside, like, well, actually, that hasn't been wrong. How many games of this match has she lost on time?
I mean, a staggering amount.
Yeah, like
definitely more than what she's down.
Yeah, probably close to 50% though. And predicted, I mean, it said that she was losing 41% of games on time. So yeah, it's kind of rough because even last event, and even I think the event before that, the joke was she's going to buy a mouse. It's been 2 years, you know? Like we were told that she is playing on a mouse. She's playing on a mouse?
Apparently, that's what we're being told. I mean,
wow.
It's improbable, but I don't understand how it's possible then. I just guess Carissa's just not, she gets too into the position.
No, it's true. It's like Alexander Ivanov or Grishuk, you know. There's a very famous anecdote for folks in the chat. There's a Russian-American grandmaster, maybe 50 or 60 years old, Alexander Ivanov. And he frequently has 1 minute versus 1 hour. And somebody asked him once, they're like, you know, why do you do that to yourself? Like, why don't you play faster? And he was like, no, well, I'm playing chess. I'm thinking about chess. Like, what do you think about? Like, when you think all this time, I'm thinking about chess. Maybe she's just thinking about chess.
That reminds me of another, I've shared this before on stream. When Vishy lost the game to Magnus in their world championship match, during the press conference, Vishy is such a class act, but he got like a dumb question along the lines of, like, in this moment, you spend 30 minutes. Were you actually like calculating the variations? And then he said, no, I'm thinking what to eat tonight. I was thinking what to eat tonight.
Yeah. It's the first match, I think, against Magnus in Chennai. And that was, he was getting some, well, a staggering degree of respect, and idolization sometimes leads to, you know, kind of absurd questions, like the person who I ran into once near an apartment, and they pointed around and asked in which building I lived. And I was like, nah. You know what else fascinates me? That people play their real preparation in Bullet. Like, for me, Bullet is just, you know, Wild Wild West. Like, I'm not going to play something I've played the whole match. I'm going to play some nonsense.
Right.
It's just my strategy. But
although for Carissa, it might make sense to play like all guns blazing, all of her stuff, because every game is golden right now. And she's off to a great start here. Look at this position.
Yeah, king b1 and h4. H4. You have to play h4. No.
Oh, so passive. Although maybe she just wants to clear the path for the G pawn.
Well, Danya, you would have played h4 in a heartbeat, right?
In a millisecond. In fact, if I hadn't played h4, people would have been like, "Who kidnapped Naroditsky?"
It takes c6 and g5. I mean, man. I mean, I actually think that in the bullet segment, without nerves, which unfortunately is a massive component, I'm probably the strongest player in the field, just because I have probably spent more than anybody else degenerate number of hours playing. You know, the problem is like we've discussed, your level drops because you're so nervous, you're so tense. And you don't get a feel. Like you don't just knight c6 g5, like knight c6 g5. You don't even think knight c6 g5.
You've got to get into the rhythm, and that is the antidote. I agree to the anxiety. You have to find a way to stop overthinking it. And Carissa's doing a great job of it so far.
Exactly,
she's very close to delivering, mate.
Yes. Like HG.
Crushing.
Bishop g5 also looks natural because you keep the rook open, but HG is the best move, I guess. Yeah, bishop g5. She makes sense.
Makes sense going down the G file, and she's got more time. So far, all of the signs pointing positively for Carissa, but she needs a monumental comeback.
Yep. Rook g1.
It's over.
I mean, don't even think. Just rook g1 or queen h5. Just choose one. Just rook g1. Just rook g1. Just don't even think. Just rook g1.
She's spending over 10 seconds on
just double the rooks. Oh my goodness. Nothing stopped the attack. Yeah.
Knight f6? Oh, I guess then queen h6.
Yeah, but there's going to be counterplay somehow. What?
Alina's running. Oh my God, she should have taken with the rook.
Yeah.
She should have taken with the rook, Levy. Now the queen is awkward. Oh my God, she might lose this game.
Rook e1 or something. Rook g8.
Oh, and she's going to get mated. Oh, she had queen f. Alina had queen f2, but not anymore.
Rook g8, rook g3.
No, but this is anybody's game. And again, she's,
queen's hanging.
Queen c3.
Yeah. Oh, knight e4, dude. No matter what, knight e4.
Oh!
I mean, she can't
buy one. I mean, that was as winning, but what was queen h5? Just play normal, natural moves. Don't overthink it. Oh my gosh. This is just unreal how many games Alina has pulled out of these positions. And she resigns, and it's a 7-point match.
I'm devastated.
Or Carissa pre-moved. Where was this in the time scrambles?
Yeah. Okay, it's good, but listen, it's not. Alina and losing a center pawn is really not a foreign concept in this match. But also, seven games is obviously a big margin. Now, all sorts of stuff can happen.
It used to be the d4 pawn. Now it's the e4 pawn. Let's pretend it's a gambit.
Oh man,
it's like when you play e4 and your opponent plays knight f6, or no, you play d4. No, I guess it just comes from tilt. When you pre-move e4 and then d4, and you don't care what your opponent plays. I'm going to play the black marquise, or I'm just going to give up the full pawn.
Oh, man. Wow. How many of the last 5 or 6 games has Carissa just had potentially winning positions? Not like winning, but potentially winning. Just a little bit more precision, a little bit more speed. I guess it's just a little. Well, queen a8. Look at that, moving the rook. It's just a form thing.
My God, knight f5, knight e7, or rook e7, or rook e7, and then knight f5, and Alina sees it.
Oh yeah, because you see knight f5, but you're like, what if it just play rook e7 first?
And it's made in another position down the toilet. And you got to give credit to Alina. I mean, the way that she's handling these worst positions, it has been incredible. She's not beating herself. Now, you could argue that Carissa's making uncharacteristic mistakes, but Alina is setting herself up for success by playing quickly, consistently, and taking advantage of her opportunities, which is all that you can ask for.
Well, now Alina's playing a modern hippo. E6 is theory or knight g5 or something?
Well, I think E6 is always a move, but it's never as good as it looks because of knight f8 in queen d7.
Yeah, queen d7, short castle.
Bishop d4 there was also possible. Well, okay,
oh man, the accent gave me joy when it was the 2-game match, not when it was an 8-game match.
No, now it's just the despondency.
now my half-eaten sandwich over there really just seems really a lot more appealing. In the beginning of the match, I was hungry for chess moves. Now I'm hungry for.
There's time for 8 games.
Is there? That's true. That's true. Nobody go anywhere. Are you guys insane? What else are you going to do?
Keep telling yourself that.
Okay. I'm very happy. I just looked at the basketball schedule and there's an NBA game tonight.
Right.
Because,
I was literally opening my mouth to what else are you going to do? Watch the Celtics?
no, I mean, listen, you like basketball. Isn't it a sad day when there's no NBA games?
Oh, it's terrible. I'm
what do we do?
Actual sadness.
Yeah. It's just, I mean, like, what are we going to watch? The MLS? I mean, no disrespect to American soccer players, but it's not quite the same.
I've never seen an MLS game in my life.
It's probably why you aren't depressed. I'm just
culturally bankrupt.
All right. Well, this is a much better position for Carissa, but that's not really anything out of the ordinary. We've seen this quite a bit in the last maybe 5 to 7 games. Do you think she will maintain a 5 to 10 second lead?
No.
So
I think Carissa at some point is going to take her time. And Alina she just senses when to accelerate.
Yeah.
She understands that that's more important than making the best moves. Takes a 95.
Yep.
She castle. I forgot that was legal.
Yeah. The late game castle. I remember I watched a little bit of the replay. I surprised you and Robert at some point. I castled long. You guys got really excited, but I was still dead lost.
Well, the good thing online is you can test whether it's legal over the board.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have that. Oh, okay. Rook D3.
Oh yeah, Rook D3 and the queen can't take.
Oh my god, that eval bar is performing gyrations of all sorts and acrobatics.
King C8, Knight
now
D7.
It's over. Okay, but Alina bringing her pieces back now. Carissa's actually going to have to win this.
Dude, there's going to be some Rook F1.
No, what worries me is that G2 score. That's a great move. Very practical.
That's it. Now,
but it's not over.
No, I don't think Carissa plays much bullet because like in bullet, you just have you have moves that if you sampled people and gave them, 2 seconds, like what would they play? Several moves ago, just Rook F1, just trade the Rook,
Uh-oh.
Yep.
Knight C4. Knight E takes C4 was a fork.
Yep.
Oh my god, Carissa's just moving back and forth. She's got to make
H3.
progress.
Oh. H3. I don't even know what's
F3?
next. Yep. Wow. King B7 or something. It's incredible.
King D8. It's still some Bishop G3. There's E5.
Yep.
Oh, Alina's running away.
How is there no?
She takes another pawn.
This is insane.
If she wins this game, I'm leaving.
Dude, Knight E5. Knight E5.
Oh my god, Knight E5. That's like mate.
No, she missed it. But Knight D5 at some point, not now.
But look at how Alina's not losing on time. She's leaving herself with just enough time. And now it's another endgame, C4.
But this should be pretty easily winning for white.
But okay,
right?
but pawn goes very fast and low fork. Fork on G4.
Yeah, she just
there was a G fork.
Oh my god. King A3, King B2. Uh-oh.
King C2. King C2. You got to throw that king in there.
Whoa!
94.
She might not lose, but
no, she's gonna win. I think she's still gonna win.
Yeah, she's still gonna. Knight F8 has to be played. Knight F8.
Alina's gonna flag.
That's the first loss in like 40 minutes for Alina.
Well, that game took like 40 minutes.
That was wild. What a game. Yeah, Bullet provides some serious content. Listen, you gotta give credit to Alina to still playing D4, C4, Knight F3, Knight C3, even in the Bullet. Right. I mean, even in Bullet. But I like how she played E3 because now there's no chance she loses the D4 pawn.
Hey, never say never. Chris is going to go C5 and then she's going to go like C5 again.
Oh, man. Okay. Yeah, this is... But I just hope for good games. I mean, Bullet always providing some completely nonsense games.
Hey, it's a 7-point lead. There's 16 minutes to play. Let's do some calculations. Let's get every game takes 30 seconds. There's time for 14 games.
Alina just resigns every game in 10 moves for some reason. It's... Knight B5, DC, etc.
But okay, of course, position terrible.
In some ways, playing Bullet when you're like dead lost in a match is actually sometimes even the most fun. You just play whatever. You can like do whatever you want. Like
Maradli said that actually. He made that point. He was like, for the first time this match, I felt like there was nothing to lose, and it liberated me. There's no liberating anything here for Black.
Nope.
But it is a freeing sensation when you just like, okay, if I lose, nobody's going to say anything, but I have a small chance to make the greatest comeback in history.
Yeah, I must say that this is basically worst case scenario. Alina has unlimited amounts of time, it seems like infinite money glitch of time here. And I spoke too soon.
As soon as the queen appears on a4, you can't go queen d3, you can't go bishop c1. You probably have to go bishop b2.
I was going to say rook b8 and bishop c1.
Yes. Oh, actually, that's not bad.
Yeah, I'm 2750 bullet, you know?
Right. What do you think I would propose?
Yeah, I mean, I'm bad at the other time formats.
Every move?
But I don't... Well, her and I on the same page, but I would have played it in 2 seconds.
I think the difference, and this is no diss to Carissa, obviously, but I think if you compare the times when both players spent like 10, 15 seconds, Alina's output has just been a lot better. Like when Carissa's taken that amount of time, she just hasn't performed at the level you would expect if somebody takes a while in Blitz.
Look, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know how many Blitz games she actually plays. Like I really, especially if she's back to college, bro. I mean, you really got better things to do in college than.
I don't know about that. At least not in my college.
And you're again, you cannot. You're like Shaquille O'Neal. Any conversation, I'll go 4 rings, Ernie. Like, I don't know if you saw the debate yesterday, but they were like, well, it was easier to score on the Celtics because they didn't have the defensive player of the year, Marcus Smart. And Shaq was like, don't matter. You should ask Hakeem how many points I scored on him. Dikembe Mutombo. And then people were just like, Shaq, this is not about you. It's like, well, Carissa doesn't play any bullet in college, but I did.
Right.
Yeah.
It is all the commentators are the most important people in the match.
I mean, of course, King E6 and
pawns are being captured.
Rook D4 was cutting the king off somehow. No, that's not King D5. And yeah, it's just.
Oh, it's just in time.
All right. Wow. Alina didn't bleed the. Oh, actually, Carissa was playing black. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Right.
Bishop G6 and.
Oh, this line F4. I've seen that before, but it doesn't appeal to me in the least. I guess if I can get F5 in, maybe it looks a little better.
Oh, wow. Interesting. Somebody brings up an interesting point. Carissa doesn't have a high FIDE Blitz rating because she doesn't play any FIDE Blitz tournaments. It's like when some of the Indian players went to play like Tata Steel Rapid and Blitz, and their rapid rating was 1400.
Right. Yeah, Gukesh 1650.
Yeah. Like, oh man, who am I playing? GMD Gukesh 1650 rapid.
No, but this has like been true of a lot of things during COVID. Like my student played a Scholastic tournament and he's 1700. He drew a 300 round to a 3. I didn't even know that rating. Like 300s move pieces around. They don't know Carlsbad theory. This guy was incredibly good.
Rook is gone, by the way.
Yeah. White has 2 rooks and black has 1.
Yeah, that it do be like that nowadays. Some unrated players showing up to the Marshall Chess Club, winning some tournaments.
Right, just John Rogers, like unrated, and I 100 on Lee Chess.
I learned chess during pandemic, and now I'm 1800 online. There's actually some people like that. There really are. They learned chess in the last 2 years, and they're like legit. They're not cheaters. They're like 2200, 2300. It's pretty insane.
Sorry for uttering an obscenity on stream.
Yeah. I mean, can you imagine learning chess like March 2020, and 2 years later, you're 2300 rapid?
Yeah.
When I heard that, I thought it was impossible. I actually thought there's no way they did it legitimately. But
how are people doing that? Like, it's just crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts. I mean, it's just unheard of unless it was like in this day and age. Literally, two years ago, there was no content. If you wanted to be 2300 in 2 years, I think 2 years ago, it was not possible.
And there's another thing. I want to write about this at some point. I want to verbalize this. Oh, and Carissa is giving me heart palpitations at that pawn on B2. But it's just like people are learning chess in such a fundamentally different way than before. I feel like before it used to be this modular thing where you like, I'm learning mates, then I'm learning strategies, and like you could easily steer the game in the wrong direction.
Knight C3.
Okay, it's still winning though. Oh, but knight D1, knight D3, and then queen D3.
I thought queen C4, but I guess there was BC.
I think white should just play BC, and bishop B2. What black is running out of fuel.
I mean, knight C5 even winning.
Queen A2, rook A6.
Yeah, there's.
It's like those players on ICC who would like. Oh.
It's mate. Rook D8. Whoa. Queen F8. Either move is mate. Carissa's mate. Carissa's backering mate. Oh my gosh.
Oh my god. She got that to 1 second. That is nuts.
Oh,
So just to finish that thought, it used to be you could steer the game into like a positional, like you could play 1d4 and a 1200 were just short. Like it was just like, does error 0 does not compute. But now it's totally not like that. Like even beginners understand some positional concepts. It's just crazy because they watched a video on pawn chains, and they understand that you have to attack the base of the pawn chain.
yeah. These little nuggets of information 2 years ago just did not exist. And I mean, now there's just even in little things like one game recap, you can learn like 2 or 3 things. It's just the whole thought process is completely changed of the way you can approach chess. So I don't know how we got to this conversation, but
well, it was the 300 that I mentioned, but what brought on that? Oh, it was Gukesha was 1650.
Yeah.
But and then it was Carissa playing in college. I think that was the original. That was the starting point.
Yeah, I think it was something about welcome to the I'm Not a GM SpeedChess Championship. I don't know. I'm just.
It was me waking up this morning. Like,
why is it +6? What just happened?
I think Black doesn't have a king set anymore.
Yeah. What? What is going on? I don't feel so good.
Yeah, and now another pawn and soon Black is going to run out of pawns.
Knight G5 or that.
Oh my god. White's up 3 pawns.
Well, at least the queens are off. That's some hope.
Mm-hmm. And the bishop is trapped. Although it's like the most irrelevant trap of all time. Yeah. This is Sag for Carissa. But you can see why Alina was a finalist. I mean, she just plays with such confidence, great time management. You can just sense the experience.
But her approach with White was a bit odd, and Carissa definitely had her chances. I'm not saying this as a fellow competitor. I'm simply stating as a spectator, Carissa had a lot of chances to get the match very close, and every time it slipped away. And that just happens. That's how basketball teams lose. They get within 5, they get within 7, but they never get there. And it's because Alina was clutch. Whenever she would spend the 10, 15 seconds in a position, like you said, she would play the best move as opposed to maybe thinking for a while and not playing the best move. And obviously all time scrambles, she would either avoid or win.
Yeah, and eventually you keep making little runs, right? Okay, it's 4-point lead, then it's a 2-point lead again. Eventually you run out of steam, and then you lose 2 more games. And before you know it, it's a 6-point match and it gets away from you completely. The biggest moment, probably the biggest chance Carissa had was when she was down by 2. I don't remember if it was a Vienna game or a Hippo game, but she was completely winning.
Yep.
And lost on time.
No, she lost. She just lost. It was a Vienna. She was down 2, and it was the game that became an endgame. She was under some attack on the king side.
Oh, and then she had that endgame up a couple pawns.
Yes, she had like the pawns for the piece, and then it just got away from her. So that game, also the last game of the 5-1, I think that was the game. And then she had 1 more chance or 2 more chances to get within 1 game,
and all of those games she was winning in at some point.
Yep, just straight up winning. Okay, back to Vienna, but now like again the knight is not on the right square, so it's just equal. The knight on f3 is not. Same situation.
See, that's another thing. The fact that you just said that, like they heard that from a top Vienna expert, that's something you can apply immediately. Like you just know now the knight belongs on e2 in most Vienna positions. That I know that sounds like an exaggeration, but just that piece of wisdom is something that you would probably not know for maybe years, right? You would put your knight on f3 and nobody would tell you, oh, the knight belongs on e2 here.
Yep.
Just the access to these like tidbits that taken together create massive improvement curves incredibly quickly.
Yeah, the way I try to describe it to people is like true chess strength is if I give you like a puzzle, a packet or whatever, 50 positions, you have 5 minutes to just choose 1 move in a position. And that's like how you can evaluate chess skill, because you can test them on everything: endgame knowledge, instinct, attacking, defending, imbalances, blah, 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 pawn structure play, whatever. So for everybody, the answers are going to be different. But the ability to actually get the answer right is just from what you just described. It's just pre-programmed in your brain. Your brain sees something and it knows based on a massive history of information. It could be anything. It could be 1 sentence I said or you said in a video, or just a coach told you, or you learned yourself through analyzing Stockfish, your games with Stockfish, preferably after the game. So you're right. There's just all these tiny little things and it all adds up. And that's why you, for example, might in that 50 sample get 47, or 45, or Magnus will get 48, 49. He won't even get a perfect score. I might get a 38, and as you go lower and lower, some of chat will get a 2, but that's okay. And that's just how you get better. That's why we pick things up like faster or slower at certain times. Don't give up on chess, y'all. I know it's nice outside, but it's go back inside, keep studying chess.
Well, and a lot of people ask, I always struggle with the question of like, well, what should I do in order to improve? Like, how should I structure my routine? And for the vast majority of people, you just got to feed your brain content. You just got to connect an IV vein, read, solve, watch, play, analyze, and trap queens, preferably with rook f4. But if you can't do that, then
rook f4.
Feed your brain content. Oh my God, Carissa.
Yeah,
she's just not sharp enough.
Yeah, rook f4. The queen was escaping out to g4, and these like 1 second tactics. It is a mix of just being in form, but it's also it's bullet. Like in bullet, you just spot very quick tactics. People always say like, how do I get better at blitz? What I did before tournaments sometimes is I would have to put in an answer in 30 seconds.
Right.
And that's the only way. And then it's just diligent training. That's rough.
The idea to be able to generate not necessarily the best move in 10, 15 seconds, but a move that doesn't like lose on the spot, something that actually makes sense, is incredibly underrated. And as you're saying, is there still? Oh no, there's no stalemate because of the pawn on e5.
yeah. The pawn on e5.
Whoa! Don't get mated, Alina.
It's actually very close to a mate somehow.
Whoa! Queen c6, but king a3, and the king escapes.
It's just I was the only chance white has is a draw, but king goes to b2, and that's the end of the game.
Well, it would be a dead draw if white could take all of her own pawns and then go queen a2.
I think this will be the final game of the match.
Given the time expenditure, yeah.
Back to g6, e6. Carissa did not move a single pawn beyond the 6th rank in the opening today.
I think Alina is just not moving the d pawn at all. First, it was like, okay, I'm going to play d4 and e3. Then it was like, I'm not even going to put my pawn on d4.
Yeah, it's very funny that like late in the bullet, the last game, she just plays whatever. And her whatever is still like a nice, solid positional a4 to prevent b5. Chess is just so interesting. Like, I could never play like this. It's just my style. Like, I always want to attack. So it's always interesting that people are choosing, strategic games. And
there's a certain kind of tilt that like Andreikin or Tomashev, like very positional players, when they tilt, they might like play one tilt move and then they'll immediately resort back to playing like super deep positional moves. They just can't help themselves.
Yeah. I had a time scramble once against Tomaszewski, and I think like every move he played surprised me. It's just a huge level difference. Basically like every move you try to predict, because it's like tactical in nature, they play the antithesis of that, and then it's still good. Like, it's just not bad at all. It's a completely reasonable move.
To me, that type of player, okay, Andreikin is that type of player to me. Every time I play him in Title Tuesday, I'm lost in like 7 moves. I don't understand how anybody can play him. Like, he's so much more of a buzzsaw to me, even than like Nepo or even against Hikaru, I can sometimes get reasonable positions out of the opening. Can't talk anymore. But against Andreikin, the guy just like runs through me with a truck.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had to play Mr. Fair Chess on YouTube, but he's a beast. I remember when he had that big breakthrough in World Cup some maybe 9 years ago. What is going on here? White is winning apparently.
Yeah, but it's not that easy because h3 black might play bishop c8. I mean, I think she has to play bishop c8.
That's such a hard. Yeah, it's like an d4.
Oh, d4. Oh, bang, pow.
You just missed that. I mean, it's one of those moves. Like, it's just immediate. If you're just in form, you don't even. Bishop c8 is findable, but it's not. It's very. Not easy at all. If I was playing black here, I would lose immediately. Is that the last game?
That was the last game. That concludes the match, and it's official. A 9-point victory for Alina Kashlinskaya. Again, we always say this: a closer match than it appeared on paper. it wasn't close in the bullet, but Carissa was several clear chances to get within one, to get within two, but the time management coupled with sort of a lack of tactical sharpness throughout the match cost her, and Alina deserved the win. She played a great overall match.
Yeah, she did. Super deserved. As we discussed, there was a couple of tense moments where Carissa could have made it closer than a 2 or a 3 game margin, but was just unable to do so. But I think we will be back with the winner, right? Or maybe both of them. I think they have the option to both join.
Yeah, we'll probably be back with both of these competitors, these players, for an interview. So don't go anywhere. We'll get them set up. You're watching the I Am Not a GM Speed Chess Championship. Levy and I will be back with the players on the other side of this very short break. Welcome back to the I Am Not a GM Speed Chess Championship. We have the two players here for a quick interview, Alina and Carissa. Welcome. Alina, let me start with you. Congratulations on an excellent match. Let's start with a general question. Can you walk us through your impressions on the match as a whole, and how do you think you played?
Well, thank you. The match started with my blunder. I think I blundered the rook on b8 or somewhere there. I mean, I played it and then I understood that I just blundered the rook, but somehow it made me wake up a bit because it's quite late in Europe and normally I'm asleep. So, I mean, yeah, I think that there were quite some blunders, so it was a bit shaky because I guess I also blundered the queen somewhere or something like this. But, you know, I think that there was a nice fight. So I guess it was interesting.
Yeah, my question was going to be for Carissa. There was a couple of moments in the match where we were cheering for, like, I mean, we weren't cheering against Alina, but obviously it was like a 2-game margin. And you had a couple of very good positions, like the Vienna, I think the last 5+1 segment, and then maybe one other game. So I guess the question is, do you feel like the match maybe got away at those moments? Because we felt you were just getting so close so many times, but it wasn't meant to be.
Yeah, I feel like I had good positions, and then like time got the better of me at some points. I feel like I sore a little after a couple games. I remember this, but overall, yeah, I think it's just my time management that was a big problem for me.
I think Danya, we were going to ask a question. Wasn't it like a meme, Carissa, that you were playing on touchscreen for a while? Do you have a mouse now? Is that a?
Yeah, I do have a mouse, but it's like worse, so I have to get back to my touchscreen.
Oh wow! Yeah, we were frustrated just from the standpoint of like we want like close match and everything. So we thought you were still using the touchpad. We were going to be shocked.
No, I'm just slower with a mouse somehow.
Wow.
Well, it's my fault. I recommended a mouse too, but I'll take responsibility. But Alina, your time management was great. I mean, you didn't, you had some time pressure, but by and large, you accelerated your pace in the bullet. Do you feel like the amount of experience you have in the I Am Not a GM, you reached the finals, you've played a lot of matches. How much does your experience level help, and sort of what changes are you making this year, if any, based on your experience in the last couple of years playing in the I Am Not a GM?
Well, as you said, I think that my experience helped me in this match, especially because in some games I felt that I'm getting horrible positions from the opening. Somehow I couldn't put my pieces together, like, to get a normal play. So Carissa was just outplaying me, and I understood that my only hope is to have some pressure on the clock. And I think that in a couple of games where Carissa just lost on time, she was completely winning. So I guess that this helped because, I mean, I understood early that I should play faster. That's my only hope.
My question was is usually in terms of like big picture. So Carissa, before the match, we were introducing the players, and I thought you were taking some time maybe before COVID. The last 2 years have completely warped my perception of time. So are you still trying to actively compete when you can, or are you focusing on studies more? I think you had a GM norm, if I'm not mistaken. So what does the future chess career hold for you?
Yeah, I took like a year off in high school to play chess. Now I'm headed to college next year, so I think I'll still have chess in my future, hopefully. I'm not sure of the particulars yet, I guess, but it's something I plan to continue.
Best of luck with that.
Indeed. And Alina, final question to you before we let you guys go. If we bring up the bracket here, you are playing Lawrence Trent, the one and only Lawrence Trent, in the next round. Do you have any experience with Lawrence, and what are your expectations going into that match?
Well, I have only the experience listening to him, to his, to him as a commentator. I don't know how it will go. I'll need to ask my husband about Lawrence. I think that he knows more about him. So I don't know. I think we've never played before.
Mm-hmm. Well, good luck in that match.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of nonsense openings. Hopefully it's going to be it'll be a fun one. And best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alina. Thank you, Carissa. We'll let you go.
Thank you.
Goodbye. Okay.
I guess we have to look ahead now to that exact match. We've zoomed in directly on the bracket.
Right on Lawrence's, amazing haircut.
Yeah, let's not talk about hair on the stream. Yeah, I mean it's
okay. Deal.
So we'll let the players go. Obviously, once again, congratulations to Alina. And okay, let's go right now. Hot take immediately. Who's winning the match and by what scoreline?
Well, I think if Alina sharpens up her tactics a little bit and does some opening preparation, I have to, and I'm sure Lawrence is listening to this and he's sharpening his knives. He's brushing them against each other, but I have to give Alina the edge. It just feels like she's faster. She's a little crisper. Lawrence is going to have to come with opening weapons, and his time management is going to have to be excellent. So I think it's going to be a close match, but I have to give a small edge to Alina.
Okay, so you're saying Alina wins 19-4. Okay, got it. And so
I'm fully expecting a tweet from Lawrence, so I'm ready.
It's a very exciting match. I like his style. He definitely has he just has a super entertaining chess style. I think he plays different openings throughout the match. So I think we're taking a look ahead to the exact next match. Is that what we're doing? Is that Justice and Danny? It's
Justice and Danny, and that's going to be a fascinating one. I'm throwing it back to you. Who you got in that match?
I have no idea because we've seen Danny play. I've never ever seen Justice play Blitz online ever. Like literally. So it will either crash and burn or he will prove to be really solid. He is very solid. He has a very solid repertoire, consistent repertoire. So that match might be the same exact openings every game with white and black, unless Danny decides to change it up. I don't know. I'd probably say Justice probably gets the small edge there. What is your full bracket? Can we just, before we sign off, I want the Naroditsky full bracket. Who wins every single matchup and who wins the final? Don't feel pressure if I'm here.
No, to the contrary, I'm gonna bury you as quickly as possible. Just kidding. Well, Canty is playing the winner of Polina against Bruce. I'm gonna have to give Polina the edge there. And then I'm going to have to give Polina the edge against Canty, although I think that's going to be a really, really close match. Polina's going to play Alina. Polina's going to play Alina. I think somebody with Alina in their name is going to win. I'm going to have to give the edge to Polina.
Okay.
So Polina's going to make it to the final. And then on the other side of the bracket, I'm going to have to say Bibisara wins. And then I'm going to have to say that Bibisara beats Justice. Levy, Rozman, not sure who that is I think going to be playing Eric Rosen.
Yeah, and what's going to happen in that match?
I think I'm going to have to give you the small edge there, but then I'm going to have to give Bibisara the edge against you.
Okay.
So I predicted, and I'm just going by my original bracket, so I'm not like making these predictions on the fly. I think I predicted Polina Shavalova to win the whole thing.
Right, in a match versus Bibisara.
Yes.
Got it.
Levy's like, I'm never commentating with you ever again.
No. Listen, I have a very tough matchup of opponents. I mean, I'm really hoping Tanya beats Eric, because that match took like 3 months off my life against him. And then, playing against Bibisara would be really fascinating if I get past Eric, because she's either gold or silver medalist, I think, in Women's World Championship Blitz, or I don't remember. But again, usually they invite people who get knocked out to do commentary or people who are, GMs, but I am neither. And I had fun today. It was obviously you always hope for a close match, but I think so far we've only had one of those.
Yeah. Well, we're going to hope for more, and we have plenty of I'm Not a GM left. The next match, Justice against Danny, that's going to come your way this coming Monday, May 23rd at noon Pacific. So mark your calendars. Going to be a good way to start the week. There's going to be Rapid Chess Championship this weekend as per usual. But Levy, like I said at the beginning, it is an honor. This was so much fun. So thank you for making time out of your very busy schedule. And thank you to everybody in all of the chats. We know you love you, even if that might be unclear during the broadcast, and to our producer, Matt, for an excellent broadcast. Levy, before I sign off, your final thoughts on today's match.
Oh, that was such a good outro. I have to talk again. Well, first of all, obviously, congratulations once again to Alina. And Yeah, it was great fun. They asked me to jump on for some commentary, and I think you all drastically overestimate the schedule of a streamer, but yeah, I'm bad at keeping up with communication with my own family members, so it's definitely,
trust me,
it's definitely difficult to follow up with communication to get on one of these. But it was fun, and obviously hoping for more close matches to come, and I hope I beat Bibisara and Rozman and Paulina. So those are, I hope for the big upset this year.
Well, we hope for some close matches. We will see. Justice against Danny is coming your way on Monday. But for now, ladies and gentlemen, I don't even know what day of the week it is. I think it's Thursday. Have a great rest of your Thursday. We hope you enjoyed the match, and we will see you on Monday for Justice against Danny. And now from the I Am Not a GM SCC, we bid you goodbye.
Bye, guys.